Welcome to the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano. Airing live on the United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM in New Orleans.
Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Are you ready to explore the unknown? Dive into the world of the strange, mysterious, and unexplained with Eerie Expeditions magazine. Each issue is packed with spine-tingling tales, cutting-edge paranormal investigations, and exclusive insights into hauntings, cryptids, UFOs, and more. Whether you're a seasoned investigator or just love a good ghost story, Eerie Expeditions magazine has something for you. Join our growing community of truth seekers and adventure lovers. Subscribe today at EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com and unlock the secrets of the supernatural. Are you ready? That's EerieExpeditionsMagazine.com, where the extraordinary is just a click away. Dare to discover.
What's out there? What creates the shadows in the corners or the creatures of the dark? Who are those on the other side? What do they have to say? This is the Gateway Podcast. This is not your normal style of paranormal talk radio. Brought to you live from United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM New Orleans.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestro, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
The Church of Mavis Radio Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
Hi, and thank you all for joining us today. We are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans.
Welcome to Paratruth.
What is it? What might's going on, man? We still have the can you see from this I got a socket right there. Yeah, won't be as funny.
Oh, have a very long work here. I'm sure you're going to read it. Well, it's a $30,000 a year job. I told her to come with me, like keep the surfing on a shit, but she went off. Yeah, the job is done for 10% or 20%. Yeah. 3 4 days a week, 5 days a week. She did the other 20. Because I was getting out of trouble with her other broadcast studio because she left on the contract. I said, well, look, so I'll give you 5 grand a month. 5 grand a month. So I do it. She agreed to it, and then we had some kind of weird audio problem, and then she weirded out. Oh, hello, you're here. Is that Jay? Jay, you got everything? Yeah, Jay's got it.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a second. Forgot autoplay is on. Hey, real quick, if you don't mind, I wanted to show those videos we were going to show last night from Kurt. I'm glad, Sean, you made it. You want to look at them, those the weapon videos?
Sure, why not? Post them up. I have no idea what we're talking about, so I'm along for the ride.
Me too. I got my snacks ready though. Let's get those videos rolling.
Yeah, she's a demon, is what she is.
Hey, Sean.
Okay, let's see. Where the hell was I?
There it is. God damn it! That's a fumble on.
Yeah. That's an unofficial language there, my friend.
Yeah. That's for my virgin ears only.
I thought this show was rated PG.
No, you rated this one XX.
That means we have a parental figure guiding.
Carrie's our parent.
It's PG NC-17 plus. That's what the rating is.
Not
all right.
me.
Real quick, we'll get this back. Queued back up.
Carrie's our parental person.
Audio sucks. I'm going to figure out what's up with this.
So this is a railgun test, and I think these must be declassified. And it is apparently a tungsten billet shot by a sabot type round. So here we go.
Oh, this ain't gonna work this close to the thing. What the find out?
Oh,
them railguns are everything. Really close to that steel.
hey.
There's your tungsten rod right there, Joe.
Yeah, no, look at it. Just blows it. It's like
goes
butter,
right straight through like 20 gauge steel. You know,
it's like butter.
You can see the sabot separating.
Hey, Kurt. Hey, Eugene Odo.
It's got fins on it.
Hello,
yeah, it's got a guide thing. They talked about that before, but it's got a thing that helps it blow out. It keeps.
I've seen one where they said they shoot like a billet that looks kind of like a barbell that you would use in your hand.
So if you watch it, you'll notice there's a round disc on the bottom along with the fins. So the disc is for the compression of however they're shooting it. Somebody told me, it's air. I said, no, I think they're using a little bit more than air, my friend. Kinetic energy is a little bit more than air.
I'm not sure what the propellant is, but it's
electricity
at near the speed of light. Is that not correct?
Yeah, I've heard different stories about that. We'll have to check into that.
That's what they say about it.
Carly, I can't be on cam tonight. I'm naked. Yes.
Hi, Kurt. Hi, Heidi.
I always do the Saturday show naked. You didn't know that?
So, but I have seen a video where the thing they shoot, it looks like a barbell and a square on the ends, and it's kind of narrow in the middle, and it looks like a piece of aluminum, but I guess
actually what it looks like is a piece of railroad track that was cut on both sides.
Yeah, it's kind of like an eye shape, but it goes that way, not that way. But it goes everything in front of it.
it's for blowing the fucking shit up. It's so when Xi Jinping bends over, we can give him a really good enema.
And we have 3 of those deployed. 2 on destroyers and 1 on a submarine.
I love you, Xi, but you need an enema, man. You've been uptight lately, dude. Enema's always good for you.
Oh, look at that smile on Moore. Look at her.
I can't. Where is she? I can't see her. She's hiding or something.
I'm here. I don't know why my camera goes so dark. I have like a light on, the lights are, and then all of a sudden it'll just go
That's the only problem with digital cameras is they require a great deal of light.
Yes, you would know that because you got so much knowledge when it comes to filming. We talked about that one night. You do.
I would have a degree there for videotape, at least. I know a lot about video, how to record it.
Laura, his old lady asked us not to swell his head anymore.
I know what I'm getting her for Christmas.
What are you getting me, Sean?
A ring light.
I have so many. I have 4 over here. My dog. My dog is terrified of them. Because the tripod fell over because I used to use my phone once upon a time ago.
Yeah, the tripods are shit, but the light works pretty good. I have 4 or 5 of them, but I only need 2 of them right now.
Well, I pulled it out the night Carrie Lynn and I went because we decided we were going to do the campfire field. Do you remember that, Carrie Lynn? And my dog was like going mental. She's jumping on the bed. And I went, oh crap, the tripod.
It was upsetting.
Yeah.
It was upsetting to watch her be sad like that.
Well, how's everybody doing tonight?
Well, I'm going to identify as a lesbian from this point forward. So
Are you a lesbian? Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I got long hair and everything.
No one's
probably got some
identifying anymore.
I'm telling you, I'm identifying as a lesbian. That's all I can.
Long hair doesn't mean shit though, Joe. When I was in college, I had hair almost down to my ass when I was, 30.
I don't know if I can get my voice to get squeakier than it is.
Information. I'm glad you're doing well, Eugenio. Good. I'm glad.
Eugenio, so you identifying as a lesbian too.
There's many, no disrespect, women that are lesbian or whatever, how they identify. I have seen many that have a lot of masculine traits too, and they're not.
A lot of them do. A lot of them don't. I mean, you got your little hottie toddy girls, and you usually got some bull dyke with them. I know before anybody writes to me, look, I'm living in New Orleans, people, one of the largest gay communities in the world. Please do not tell me. I see them all the time. I mean, you rarely see like a really hot couple together. It's usually like one looks like a guy and one looks like a little hottie.
Because
both of them are just fucking ugly.
It balances their energy, I believe.
Some of them are just fucking ugly, is what it is. I mean,
glad
scary.
To hear that, Heidi.
Christopher, I ain't got nothing against lesbians. I got 2 in my family.
You know what I want to ask, Heidi? I'm glad if your migraine's feeling better. Have you guys seen those videos? And I've seen it many times where somebody that does the earthy kind of spiritual stuff and they're out beside a tree and they talk to the tree. I've even watched it live and they're standing beside one of the lower hanging boughs and they ask the tree to reach out and touch them. And the tree actually, not quickly, starts to move. They don't move and it will touch them. I think that's so cool.
That would make me run for the hills, but that's cool.
Why?
Hey, why? Really? Why, buddy?
Trees don't move. They don't get up and walk. They don't talk. If I ran into a tree, like in the Hobbit, I'd probably lose my shit and run.
No, those kind of trees.
I would love that.
Jay, come over to our side.
It's not a tree. It's
an
ent.
Come to our side.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tree, but it would scare the living crap any normal person who thinks logically.
No, it's Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, Sean.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, exactly.
But Sean goes, here comes the Star Trek. I said, no, it's Lord of the Rings. I love that.
But Picard traveled back in time to meet them. So
to be honest, Sean, I think most people, if a tree got up and started walking towards them, they would probably run first and then be like, the smart ones would stop and go, wait a minute.
I'd say, stop, let me grab my camera, and what have you got to say, right here then?
I'd actually say, stop, I got some plant food. Are you hungry?
Yes.
If you see my garden, it's lush. I'm going to show you. I'm going to put some person. I don't know about hugging no trees, man.
Why?
Depends what kind of tree it is. Hey, it might be one of them funny trees, I don't be just hugging any tree.
I have a video of it. I downloaded, and it was so cool. Like it was really, and I've seen many of them.
Well, if you have it, play it.
Okay, I've got to send it to myself and I will play it. Just give me a minute to find it. And she doesn't move towards the tree. Give me 1 second. I can put my glasses on.
We had this beautiful tree when we were living in this zoo.
Can I tell you my tree story?
Yes. I would love to hear your tree story.
Wait, you were talking about the beautiful tree, and I want to hear Sean's
story. That's okay. I'll share my story after.
Okay. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, so I was at a park meditating, and it was 85, 87 degrees, no rain at all, blue sky, the whole 9 yards. So I decided to sit underneath this tree, and I started meditating. And then all of a sudden, started to feel raindrops on my arms and on my head. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, it's not raining, but there's a lot of raindrops falling on my head and on my arms. And so I came out of the meditation as spirit as my witness. I'm telling you, the tree was crying.
Oh,
The tree cried.
wow.
Yeah, I could just feel the sadness coming from the tree.
That's
And it
because you
was
seen
crying.
Joe coming with the chainsaw. I'm sorry.
I think
And
what's your story,
and
Carrie
it
Lynn?
was
I'm finding it
yeah.
as we're talking. This video. Mhm.
Did you figure out why the tree was sad?
It just you know how we just get them sad feelings. I tried talking to the tree. Honestly, I did, but it didn't want to answer. It was just like it just wanted to cry.
Oh,
Oh, maybe
what
that's all
is-
it needed to do.
Mhm.
It went deep.
It's just sending right now through. I found it. What's your story, Carrie Lynn?
I'm gonna have to have more drugs for this. I can see. Somebody bring me some drugs.
Oh, come on.
We need some really good drugs.
I have a gun
Anybody
story,
got a
Joe,
ketamine,
ready for you, though.
LSD? Oh my
Thank
God!
you, Heidi.
Bring me some
Thank you, Gino.
Okay,
Yeah,
got the
Carrie
video.
Lynn, I'm just listening.
So
What kind
the
of drugs
tree
you need,
story,
buddy?
when we lived in
What kind of drugs you
Sioux,
need?
Ontario, we lived
Get
in
that
Sioux,
Andy touch.
Ontario, and the property that we lived on had Indigenous connections to it. That it felt electric, like it's staticky. You know, when you get that static electricity feel and the hair goes up. So there were two trees that had faces, like it, and I get the pareidolia stuff, but it didn't matter who drove in, they all said these two trees had faces. So on full moons and stuff, we would go outside, and especially on the full moons, we would go outside and talk to the tree, but the trees were right near the road, so everybody could see. So we would try to go super late at night, but our neighbors were very Catholic, and so they wrote a note for the neighborhood concerned about late night pagan rituals. And we were just talking to the tree. We weren't burning stuff. No chickens were involved.
I think that's hilarious. I remember when my son was
down here where I live, they give you $100 for people who talk to the trees. The little place comes and gets you, and they put this little cute little white coat on you, and they take you for a little ride. $100 per head, man. I'm like, yes.
I
So
remember.
tell me, never in your life you did not talk to a tree. Tell me.
Well,
I've put a lot of trees down.
I had a cool experience with my son when he was alive, and he was younger. And in our old house, it was a very busy street, but there was a park across there. And my kids have grown up with the woo-woo, as I call it, when you've got a mom that does the kind of stuff some of us do, right? And so I was teaching him about,
Thank you,
you got to make sure you're not a lot of people around or we're going to think we're cray-cray. But I said, check this out, Jess. I said, go try hugging the tree and see how it feels. And if you want, talk to it. So he was hugging it. And the coolest thing happened. This little kid came out of nowhere and then wanted to know all about it. And the pets and the animals started coming. And it wouldn't be living beings that were judging us. Like it was little ones that are open to it. I just thought it was so cool. So he went openly to do it. And obviously, and I know whether you believe in it or not, or it sounds woo-woo, I think the energy that it created all around it was pulling in other people that were in the park, not adults who think we're nuts and that we should pay, like you said, Joe, $100 and wrap us in a straitjacket. Or Carrie Lynn, like, I cannot believe about the paganism.
I'm just thinking, look, I got to buy a new mic set. I mean, I'm just thinking $100 a head. I'm doing pretty good here.
Here's the video. Hopefully the audio works. So we'll see. Hang on. It should.
Oh, man. See, this thing, I kind of like this thing. I kind of don't like this thing. I got to take it on and off. It's too little for me to read unless it's on full screen.
Back from my morning walk, and I would like
I'll try to
share
make it
with
bigger.
you some of the things
I'm just saying a crazy lefty.
It's not very loud. Sorry. It's her video. Yeah, that's as loud as she'll get.
I ask you to please acknowledge by touching me. Show me that you hear what I am saying. Show me that you know who I am. If you would just reach
See,
out
my mic's
and
touching
touch
me.
me.
I think it's kind of
It's
cool.
wonderful to be in your presence.
It's woo-woo, I
Please
know,
just
but
touch me.
No, I don't have nothing against
Thank
tree
you.
huggers or
That's
tree
cool.
loggers.
This beautiful, majestic
It,
tree has reached
I
out
mean,
to
I live in a part
and
of the
is now
country where we have,
touching me.
1,000-year-old oak trees that stretch all over
When
the
I
place.
ask you to go for a walk in the forest,
Hell, I grew up under
because I
too.
want to share the
That's
most
cool,
amazing
so.
things that I get to experience when I am out here with these wonderful beings.
Thank you for sharing that, Laura.
you're welcome. You know what? I know it's a bit woo-woo, but and I've seen people even farther away that have done it, and it's kind of cool. Oh, sorry, it's still playing here on me. Me and my lovely Facebook videos here. Go away. There we go.
It's well, everybody wants to love a tree. I mean, we have these massive oak trees down here. We got dueling oaks, which is God knows how many people died in front of them two oak trees. They were probably fed by blood, actually, to be honest.
With blood?
Yeah, because they were so many people died there. I mean, for 200 years they went out there and dueled, either with swords or by pistol. That's where they went. It was legal there too, by the way. You could
I
just
don't know
go
if they
out
did it in
there.
Savannah, but Savannah, some of the main streets are lined with huge live oak trees, and then all the limbs have Spanish moss dangling from them. So at night, it's kind of like Halloween.
Well, these come all the way down to the ground, and they make
South
like a
Carolina
cage.
has those. What the trees are down south, Joe, in South Carolina? Are they oh, what
Well,
the hell they called?
the big oaks are
They have white
down deep
leaves
in
on
the
them.
south. You get the oaks or the white oaks, whatever they call them. The big oaks, they're usually pretty far down south. I mean, I have one in my backyard that's 100 years old, and it's only this big around. The one that I grew up with, the one that was where our house was built, it was over my bedroom. It was about 550 years old, and every now and then the branch was way high off my roof, but every now and then you hear it scratch on the roof or scratch on the window. You're like, how the hell is it doing that? And I remember something was scratching, and I looked, and it was a little tiny bitty hole, like this big in my window. I'm like, what the hell? And it got me thinking. I went to looking around. I had these all these street signs in my bedroom, leaning against the wall, and sure enough, there was a freaking snake behind the stop sign.
Oh my
I was like,
goodness.
look at this. And I wouldn't have looked if the thing wouldn't have scratched on the thing like that. I wouldn't have looked because it wouldn't. I just would have went on with whatever I was doing and not worried about it. And it was weird living underneath it. But down here, you see a lot. Like where I live right here, if you just leave my house and go a block, you'll just see hundreds and hundreds of these majestic oaks lining the Gulf Coast for as far as you can see. And they have survived Katrina, Betsy, Camille, God knows before that what came through here that we don't know about. And they're still there. But they look shabby though for a while. After Katrina, they look shabby for about 5-6 years. Real thin coverage, not much going on. But they grow back and they're beautiful. And they're great places to go hang out under. You can go sit underneath them. Grass doesn't grow underneath them, so it's not all grassy and shit. Throw down a blanket and chill. Enjoy yourself.
Are there a lot of acorns on them oak trees?
Some of them are, some of them not. I don't know what the difference is. Some of them you wish you would never go underneath them because it's like a bed of acorns. Of course, there's a lot of squirrels down here too, so I don't know how long they'll stay under the tree. But there's trees that you don't see any acorns. I don't know what the difference is. I'd have to go look it up to be honest. But they're just some that you never see any on.
Well, the elm trees have those ridiculous pain in the ass helicopter seeds that fall and they go all over the place. They get stuck in your windshield, and you find all these.
Well, you get them from them pine trees.
In my yard, you got to pull them out before they get too big.
We don't have palm trees up in Canada.
Pine trees. No, we got our pine trees. When they start dropping cones,
pine trees.
All of a sudden you get these little white wing things. They look like insects. Got a little tab on it and just spinning in air.
Helicopter seeds, man, they're a pain in the ass.
What did you
There's
call
a lot of
them?
water around here. Then.
Helicopter seeds. Yeah, they fall like a helicopter.
Yeah. That's what they look like.
That's what we call them.
We call them old women's tongues.
Did you?
Oh,
old women's tongues. That's what I call them.
Yeah, as a kid, I remember playing with them. We used to call them helicopter seeds. Yeah,
the little seed is extremely edible.
Is it?
You can break them open and you put them on your nose. Run around like
I want whatever she's on. Y'all need to. Y'all need to share.
Gary,
Share here tonight.
Gary, where do you get the old lady tongue at?
Yeah.
Where do you get the old lady tongue?
I can see that because it does kind of look like when you look at it.
It just wags when it's
stands
coming
out at the
down,
end.
right? So
Yeah.
I don't remember where we got it from.
Carrie Lynn came up with a really interesting concept. What was that, Friday? And you did some digging today about serial killers.
Ooh.
Right?
Why they kill you with cereal? Like they freak you to death or something?
No, it's interesting.
Like Fruit Loops.
You know?
Joe, what's your gun's name again today? Tell me what your gun's name is. What do you call it?
Martha.
Martha?
Oh yeah, Martha.
Martha.
There's RJ.
Martha
loves this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Martha
There they
loves it.
That's the helicopter seeds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Didn't
just
you say,
clapping it
Carrie
up.
Lynn, they all seem to have the
yeah.
right? Right?
There we go.
Pardon?
Martha's actually named after Eureka.
Sorry.
I was
Martha.
saying, did you
Yeah,
notice all serial killers have the middle name Lee or Ray? It seems.
Oh yeah. So, but it all kind of stemmed from. I was thinking about you today, Joe. My youngest son was 20 yesterday, so he asked to go to a shooting range. He wanted to go to a shooting range today. So yes, that's what we did. So I took my quiet little boy. He's not a little boy. He's a big boy.
He's your baby. Yeah, he's your baby.
He's like my big gentle, and he is phenomenal. People are freaking out about how great this kid is, who's never shot a gun before, is like blasting through. They've had this alien, target for him, and he's hitting through the eyes. He hit right between the eyes. He was like doing really well. It's because he's so calm and chill, right? And then I started laughing all the way home. That's all I could think about. We did this segment on Beneath the Hollow Moon, and we were talking about places that are haunted. And we got down the subject of serial killers, and that serial killers many have the same name, whether it's their middle name or their first name. And Ray and Lee was one of them. So my dad's name is Lee. My sister's name is Lee. My brother's name is Lee. I named
Lauren
Gavin, my youngest baby Lee. And here's my quiet kid who is like target shooting phenomenally with the serial killer last name. So that was my little jokes. But I went down the rabbit hole with it, and how many places that are haunted that are connected to serial killers and their names.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a lot of them that have the same name and the same astrological sign.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Maybe they're just repeats.
Yes.
Are they Geminis?
Oh, Geminis
are just schizoid.
No, I looked it up. Scorpio, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces. They account for 46. Yeah.
Wow. I thought Gemini
Aquarius and Libras are next.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Because I'm a Libra.
No. Scorpio, Cancer, Sagittarius, and Pisces.
I would have thought Gemini.
Any of you guys
I'm glad Gemini didn't make that list.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, they don't need to get on
Gemini
the
and
list.
Taurus
Geminis
were
are
not.
schizoid.
So that's where my kid gets lucky.
All Geminoids are splitzoid. Remember, they're two personalities.
Scorpio.
Please.
I have to agree. You know what? I had always heard that.
I dated one.
I have.
I've been married to one for 41 years. Trust me, they're schizoid, splitzoid.
They
And that's not the only one. I know a lot of them, but
I'll tell you what, Geminis are very, very quiet for a very, very long time, and they absorb a lot of everything that people talk about. And then when it's time to let loose, they let loose.
Yeah, with one of their 50 personalities. It's
Get it right, Joe. There's 51 personalities, all right?
51. How many are there? There's a lot of them. Over the years, I mean, I've got a lot of friends that are Geminis. Like I said, I'm married to one. I got a lot of friends that are Geminis. They're just, you got to watch them. They flip. 1 minute be like this. 1 minute they be like, you just got to watch them. They get flippy.
Mm-hmm.
But all the signs have their quirks, so it's not like,
But I thought it
it's
was
not
your
like the other
ascendant.
ones.
True, Heidi. Very true.
Yeah, that's why they're twins. They're split in half. They'll always be like that. It's part of their it's part of their science, part of their goodness and their badness, all built in, rolled into one thing. It's part of their herd.
Told my friends that I was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and it's
Oh,
true.
Sean, are you a Gemini and we're saying this? I'm sorry if you are.
June 4th is my birthday. My birthday's coming up, June 4th.
Oh, when is it?
June 4th.
Oh, happy early birthday.
Oh, that's exciting.
Thank
June
you.
4th.
June 4th, 1962.
I would never have guessed you to be a Gemini because I could understand why you would say being very quiet and all of a sudden when you're ready to let loose because you have pretty chill, calm energy.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And very grounded.
But it's your ascendant. It's your ascendant sign in how people perceive you and how, not necessarily your sun sign.
No.
Sun sign's your sun sign's characteristics, but your ascendant is how people perceive you.
Thank you. I like what Regina said. Railgun to tree hugging to serial killers to astrology. All good.
I was just thinking, is anybody in this group not going to have asbestos pants? Really, I've been thinking. Matter of fact, I've been thinking about the whole network. Is anybody in this group going to be able to cross over without having asbestos pants on? Asbestos pants on. You know what that means, right? Asbestos protects you from heat and fire and flame.
It also causes cancer.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you're going to hell, does it?
No.
That's the point. You better get your asbestos pants on ahead of time to protect you from the flame. Mm. Yeah, that's why so many people think Earth is hell. I'm like, God,
Okay, so I got a question for you, Joe.
Huh?
Why? Because I know you know a lot. Well, everybody's probably got something attached to it. But why, speaking along the vein, what you were doing the research, Carrie, then, why does it seem whenever there's somebody that's involved with taking the life of somebody that's well known in the public or around the world, they always say their three names, like, right? Lee Harvey Oswald. I forget who Martin Luther King somebody took out, but there's always seems to be three names. Or does anybody else know why? Like, why do they always use their full name instead of just saying Lee Oswald?
More dramatic.
More dramatic?
More
More
I
dramatic.
think it's for like major assassinations and stuff like that. But because the guy that shot Reagan, he didn't kill him, so they only call him by his first two names.
They use their legal name. That's actually a thing about law. They use their legal name, so whatever your name is what they're going to use.
Yeah, but they don't do that with everybody. It just seems when there's been like a
No, they do it. Everybody will court. I mean, that's your name. That's what they're using. We have to go by that.
Yeah, but the media does. And the media can use
The media doesn't have to follow that rule.
And how many people?
They didn't. The media didn't really I can't even remember the guy's name who shot Reagan, but they never used all three names.
Mark David Chapman.
Huh? Yeah.
Mark David Chapman.
Wasn't he the guy that shot?
Was it Lennon? Was that Lennon?
Shot Lennon. Yeah. No, the kid. I'll look it up.
Look it up,
I don't think he can tell you his third name.
Time I remember.
Yeah, because he shot Reagan and he messed up. What's his name? Brady. That's why we ended up with the Brady law.
Yes.
John Hinckley.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes,
John Hinckley.
You're right.
Anybody want to take a guess as to what his middle name is? Did you ever hear his middle name?
No.
Is it Lee?
It is not.
No.
His middle name is Warnock. I think he said that on the nightly news in 1984 when he
That's
shot
probably why he
Reagan.
wasn't using it.
Remember that?
The Warnock. Yeah, I think that's my name.
John Warnock Hinckley Jr. That's his
John
middle
is
name.
number 3 on the list, though, of serial killer names.
Who?
John. Yeah, but also John is
Oh,
also
shit, I know a lot of Johns,
like,
man.
it's like the one of the
Oh
most
my
popular
gosh!
names.
If you really want to get down to science here, Sean is John in English.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes.
But
And,
see,
his nickname is Dexter.
So
Come
the
on, people.
question that
When
I
you
had
read about
after,
this guy in the
looking at
paper,
Sorry.
I'm just saying.
The question I had after researching what names were if there was a common name was the year that they were born, because there's common names associated with the time period and the generation that they're born in as well too, right? Because there's less serial killers born after 1970. I mean, we still had them in the early 80s, but less born after then, because Joseph is the number one name. And I think like that was from 1920s or something. What are we laughing at?
Joe, what have you and Martha been up to?
Trust me, if I killed somebody, I wouldn't be with Martha. I'd
Yeah.
want to get down
Joe.
and dirty.
Yeah, no witnesses.
Joseph is the name.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what's your
I'm thinking
middle
about
name?
this. And I was special forces trained too.
See?
I just kill you with a look. You did.
See?
You did. And then if you get ornery,
And
I'll
what's
shoot you
your
with nothing.
sign?
I don't have a sign. I wasn't
Yeah.
born under a sign. I was born in the 5 minutes between when they switch over.
Are you a
Joe
Pisces?
comes from another planet. He didn't tell you that.
Joseph's a Pisces, I think.
He was born far,
Are you
far
really?
away. Galaxy
Are you
far,
Pes?
far away.
I wasn't born in this place. It's for some reason I'm stuck here for a while, but I wasn't born here. They're like, well,
I think we're all stuck here for a while.
So so I did something in the
Here's a
future that just
question
pissed
for
them off.
everybody on the panel. Here's a question for everybody. Do you think they came up with a pill where you will live forever? And if they did, would you take it?
No.
Well,
Yep.
I don't think
100%.
they came up with a pill that makes you live forever. I
said
think they came up
yes?
with a pill that stops your telomere.
Well, like you
That's
said,
different.
it's like a binary pill. Like you take one and it turns on your telomeres, and then you take another one and it like regresses you by 30 years genetically or physically.
There's a series out right now on Gaia about people being able to mentally elongate the telomeres to turn back the clock, right?
You don't have to mentally do anything. You have to control the thyroid, and once you if you can program certain things in your body, you can stop the aging process. So you can stop the very things that tells your whole body to age. It's kind of interesting, how the whole process
Yeah,
happens.
Masters and Johnson said they did it about 12 years ago.
What's that billionaire's name that's doing that right now? There's a
They probably
billionaire
all are.
that's trying
Bill
to
Gates
reverse
works.
the aging process.
Well, Bill Gates works on a lot of that because he believes in eugenics. Elon Musk is doing it because he thinks he's going to need it to go to Mars to de-age himself some. And then there's
It's a
Elon.
guy.
And
He's
then,
filming himself.
He's going to clone himself too, I think.
I still want to see Elon fight Mark Zuckerberg, man. I'm ready for that bout. You know what I mean?
Zuckerberg
Yeah, already. There was
I
a
got
picture
money on the
of
Zuck.
going around with a black eye, so maybe they already did.
Zuck is going to win.
yeah, his old lady took him out, man. Elon's on. Besides, they're saying Elon's been on fentanyl.
Got a black eye, man. Did you give it to him, Joe?
No, he's too squirrely for me, man. I'd be like, get away from me, dude.
He is squirrely, isn't he?
Yeah, I got a lot of rich friends, and some of them are like, yeah, they're just everyday people, and some of them are just.
It's
how can I
Brian
say this?
Johnson.
Very
He's a
eccentric.
biohacker.
A biohacker.
I know somebody that's trying to do that.
He's spending $2 million a year trying to reverse his biological
I
clock
think
so that he can have an 18-year-old body again. Brian Johnson.
I think last I heard the big three farmers had been close to $1 trillion in trying to stop aging. Masters and Johnson swears though. They swear they were able to stop the telomeres, and then I forgot the name of the company, Kotex or Coax, whatever they're called. They said they found a way that once the telomeres were stopped, they could re-elongate them probably up to about 20 to 30 years. So whatever age you were, you would go back about 30 years. And then your telomeres would be stopped, so you would stop aging. But it's not exactly a truthful thing, though, because we live in a 1G environment. We're still going to have that 1G pulling on our heart and our lungs and our livers, and it's still going to be wearing.
And
So
blood will still kill you. I mean, it's not like it's not going to make you immortal, but I mean, a longer,
well, no.
better
If you do that, you go to Mars. You are immortal. You're not gonna wear. Yeah. So you'll live. It's just here.
So
the
another
gravity
question for everybody: would you want to be immortal?
I would.
I don't know if I'd want to be immortal, but 1,500, 2,000 years, I think I could go there for that.
We are immortal. Everybody here.
Well, I mean,
You can go by
okay,
your soul. Yeah, you
we can
are.
argue the soul is probably immortal, but there's probably a way to kill it too. But the husks that we wear, the bodies we're in, they fail. But there's a way to extend them to, as long as you don't get shot by a bullet or a ray gun, thousands of years.
Well, Noah died at 950 years old. I think that, but again,
Methuselah's
I
about
don't
some
think
years.
that they were human.
Noah was like 28
I don't
when he
think they were
died,
human
man.
at all.
You can't trust them lying bitches from back in the
Why
day.
does he always have a 9-foot long ZZ Top white beard if he's 28 years old?
20 feet tall, 950 years old. It doesn't sound
I
human.
watched this series.
I tell you what, if you ever see my beard when I was 28 years old, it was about down to here.
Really?
Yeah, and then if I brushed it out, it went. It was insane looking.
I
Actually.
watched this series last night on Death and Dying, and it featured people with NDEs, but it also went into people that actually, and they went through the whole process of people that want to go through cryotherapy with the money to basically preserve their body on the off chance. And I know it's been around for a long time, but it was interesting. They went in depth about how they do it and people go there just before they die, and they talked about sedating them and making sure they, how they preserve. And it was a really interesting documentary.
And so I guess since we haven't seen anybody of any real consequence de-age, we have to think that either it's not available or it's not quite perfected yet, because you can look around the world at all the world leaders. They're still aging. They're still looking worse every year. Poor Biden couldn't even think straight. Trump's looking, he's looking his age for sure. Obama looks pretty good, but he's aging as well. I mean, he's all grayed up and stuff. So, I mean, what I mean by this is so far, no one of any consequence has taken this, so we could see it work.
You see that a Secret Service whistleblower, all of a sudden now the information's coming out, and he blew the whistle on Biden saying he would get lost in his closet at the White House. Like, they'd have to save him from the closet, man. It must be a big ass closet. You know what I mean? But, you can't stop aging. I mean, no matter how hard you try. Yes, people want to.
I've seen
tons of money. You can eat better. You can live better. You can not smoke, not drink alcohol. There's a whole bunch of things you can do
Well,
to
but I
live
think
longer.
it's also a matter of perspective. If we had, say we lived 10,000, 15,000 years, our bodies lasted 15,000 years, the ages that all of us are now, we would be still considered children.
Your body gives out, But what if you could reverse that information from your thyroid, from your brain, all these things that are telling you to age? What if you could reverse it with frequencies? What if you could, because it's a frequency, right? What if you could reverse it, man? I mean, that's
somebody does it, we'll know.
Or stall it out, not reverse it, but I mean, you can't go back. I think once you age, But I think you can stall it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then you could always get hit into a car accident or whatever. All kinds of shit could happen.
Well, I mean, I think that's what I'm trying to say about that pill. It's not going to make you live forever, but you live. I would think if it elongates your telomeres and stops them from decaying, it would extend your life and add quality to your life because you're healthier now. You're not decaying, with the telomeres every day.
I don't know. I would not want to take the pill. I want to go when I'm supposed to go. Honestly, that's how I am.
Yeah, I agree, Sean.
That's the way I feel.
I think there's some really, really cool, exciting things about to happen, and I don't want to miss the ones that I'm going to miss. Like, I'm sure if I could stay another 100 years, there would be some really, really cool shit on this planet.
So then couldn't, if you believe in reincarnation, just come back around and come back in a younger body?
But number one, reincarnation isn't guaranteed. Number two, you're not guaranteed to come back human. Number
Some
three,
people believe that.
You're not guaranteed to come back to this planet.
Jay, I did a show on it. I did some research on that. If you want to be reincarnated before you do it, before you die, you will come back as whatever you wanted to come back as.
No, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. But
sounds risky to me.
Be guaranteed where to go.
I did a show on that one. I did a lot of research on it.
But how about if reincarnation
I have
isn't
my
real?
past life regression appointment on Monday.
Well, I don't have any
So
hard.
I got a question for Ollie.
I
So
honestly really do think that I think reincarnation is a real thing.
okay, but I got a question for y'all then. So then, if reincarnation is real, then there can't be a multiverse.
Why not?
I
Because
didn't hear that,
one of you in
Joe.
every
What was it?
multiverse. There's one of you in every. There's a copy of you in every dimension, and every multiverse is a copy of you in every one. That means that you're experiencing everything in the universe momentarily at the same time. So you wouldn't need reincarnation when you died. You would just snap back to one soul. So there would be no need for reincarnation. You see, it gets really sticky really fast right there, doesn't it? That's the
But if
problem.
there's a
You
multiverse,
can't
then there
have
might
both. No,
also
but the
be
problem is
multiple souls. So
you
you
can't
not only
have
are there
both.
multiple yous per galaxy or per dimension, there are multiple souls for your body per
No,
dimension.
it's not multiple souls. There wouldn't be a multiple soul. It'd just be your
We don't
soul.
know.
Yeah, we pretty much know if it's you, it's you. It's just you experiencing another aspect of you. Even in reincarnation, it's the same thing. Eventually, you're going to come back and experience everything there is to experience, good, bad, and ugly. That's the way it works. So instead of doing that, you're just doing it all at one time. Of course, now the time thing could be wacky and weird
Well,
because of
okay, so
dimensions. But
perhaps souls are plane locks to
yeah,
this existing planes, but I still suggest if it is real, that I mean, Sean may know better than me. If you come back human, yeah, are you guaranteed to come back to Earth? What if you come back on another planet with a different type of human?
I mean, what happens if you've evolved past this planet? You're not coming back here.
Yeah,
This planet is for backwards people.
that's what I'm saying. You may not come back to this particular location, if you will.
Or you choose to.
Well, I don't know, because there's lots of, and it's more in the paranormal communities than you hear in like the religious communities. But people have always said that this planet is either some sort of a teaching zone or a reprimand zone or a punishment zone.
I'm thinking it was more of just a F up. But
You suck and you better survive over here, or you're not going to come with us. Something like that. Yeah,
I think back to the reincarnation. Especially in animals, when the owner's pet passes away, they usually get another one, and it's like the spirit of their pet who died goes into the new pet because they have the same.
That happened to me.
Hey,
they have the
that happened to me, Sean.
Really? And everything.
I swear to God, yeah.
Oh,
I had this cat that you see the little fluffy black one? That's the third one. The first one I got in Savannah when I was in college. My friend's girlfriend, she found this little baby kitten in a dumpster at McDonald's. And I swear to God, from face to ass, that's how big the kitty cat was. And then it had this tail that was like 9 feet long. But anyway, that cat lived 20 years. I had moved back to Rockville, Gaithersburg, where I grew up. And she got like a cancer in her stomach, so I had to put her down. 20-year-old cat. So while I was considering that, that I had to go the next day and take her to have her, humanely euthanized, one of the waiters in the bar came up and said, "Hey, we have this cat that nobody wants. Do you want it?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What does it look like?" And he said, "Oh, it's a girl, long black hair, green eyes, and fuzzy." And I said, "Well, that's strange that you bring that up to me, because that's exactly the kind of animal I'm considering to put away right now." So he's like, "Oh, cool. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Well, you know what? I got to put my cat down. Give me a week, and I'll come back and I'll take that cat from you." So I put my cat down. A week goes by. I go back to the bar restaurant, meet the kid and his mom and him and his mom worked at the restaurant that I always went to. Met them. I ate my dinner. Their father shows up with the cat. So we go to the back of the restaurant. And as he's driving up, he's got the cat in his lap. You can't see it, but he's got this huge, truck door in front of him. But as soon as he slows down, the cat pops up and looks out the window and sees me and tries to jump out. And literally cracks her head in the windshield or the window. And then they let her out and she jumps into my arms and like she knew me somehow. I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." So I immediately take her through the restaurant to my car and I go home with her. I put her down and she recognizes the other cat that I had. They do the cat thing and she runs straight to where the food is. Now, a brand new animal that's brought into a home that's never been there doesn't know where the food is, but they can find it if they sniff. They'll find the longest route to it, probably. She went right to the food, ate, and then went right to where she always sat when she's done eating and sat down. And then the other cat looked at me and said, "I want to go to the vet and get a new body." It was
I believe that.
It was the same animal. of the same soul and the same type of body. It was really weird.
It can happen, I believe.
I believe the same
Absolutely.
soul was in the same type of cat, and I had that soul twice. And that the other body lived, God, like 15, 16 years. So 35-year-old cat. It's got to be a record somewhere.
Wow.
I got, I think, one dog
I
that
would say
I
so.
had twice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Carrie. Then.
Oh, no,
Sorry.
that's all. I'm good.
And then the same with the cat. One of the cats I have now, and he looks identical to the cat I had back when I wasn't married at that time. So I believe you. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the cat in particular acts identical to the cat I had before and looks just identical to him too. So I think it can happen.
You know, we use cats for alligator bait down here, right?
They're also coyote bait where I live too.
And snacks. They do make good Chinese snacks. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
You know, they make good Chinese food and they make great alligator bait. They
You know
make good
what?
crab bait too.
I've had cat before. I've eaten cat.
Have you?
It's not bad.
I don't think I could do it.
When I was in university for nursing, the university here locally, they didn't get cadavers. So we used to have a cat. Like we'd share it in the lab and then they'd keep it preserved for a couple, like I think we had the same cat for 4 months. And of course we didn't like our prof for the class. So we named our cat after our prof. Because I mean, I didn't like doing it on cats.
Now you're making me hungry talking about cats, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird subject to get hungry on.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, look, these chihuahuas look pretty good some days, too, especially for Fiona with her little chunky butt. I was thinking, ooh, stuff Fiona.
Ooh, yummy.
They're so terrible for your teeth, but and they changed the formula of like the peanut buttery thing in the middle, so they're not quite the same. You know, it's like when they went from banana filling to vanilla filling with the Twinkies, 50 years ago. I was pissed.
I didn't call you. I have a dog and a cat that want to be podcast stars. I swear, I did not call my dog. I didn't say it.
Sometimes Admiral can be in here, but when he starts whining, I gotta let him out. But nice.
We have twin dogs. You have the male version.
Yeah.
So it's interesting about he'd made a point earlier. Oh, sorry, Kurt, I'm going back. He had said, oh God, I'd like to think that I got to highlight it. I'd like to think there was a way after you, I got to put my glasses on. I'm blind as a bat here. Sorry. I'd like to think there was a way after you reincarnate, if you can have a way to upload all of your past life from the life before, like start a new start with the previous information and start. That was the theory. So I was saying that to him. That was the theory behind people that have a lot of money were freezing their bodies so that when the technology arrives, exactly what he just said, they could just download the consciousness right into the body is the thought. So you'd have everything in a new body or freeze the aging process because it seemed like people.
I'm pretty sure that at least in some case, so Lockheed a couple of years ago announced along with Johnson & Johnson that they had found a way to take your consciousness and put it onto a disc. Well, we know Elon Musk is working with this right now because he's using this to run equipment and computers and all sorts of stuff for paraplegics. So he's already got this technology. So a guy in 1997, I believe, stuck a microchip in his head and recorded what was in his brain. Nobody thought it was possible. Nobody thought he could do it, but he did it. So since then, they have been steadily figuring out ways to make copies of your consciousness. The problem with making a copy of your consciousness and putting it into a new body, a younger body, a better body is you still are carrying all that baggage with you. Anything that's bad, anything you didn't like, it didn't matter that you're younger, you're still carrying that. You still have to deal with that. And your brain, even though your hormones are going to be in a younger version, your brain's going to be conflicted because your brain's going to know better. It's not going to want you to repeat same mistakes.
Wisdom. We didn't have back then.
The hormones in your body and your brain and who's going to win. And if teenage years are any indication, the hormones are going to win out. Yep. So it doesn't really matter if you keep it or not. It's in the end, it's still going to come back to a reversion.
Do you think that aliens had technology like that maybe they've shared some of that?
All the aliens that we know of can upload their consciousness into a new body.
Yeah, that's what I
not even a
thought.
thing. It's not even a thing for them. It's matter of fact, and they can do it at long ranges. So if like one of them was got killed on Earth, he can actually upload his consciousness probably a galaxy away.
Yeah, but what's the range? They can't do it from their home world, I'm sure.
Well, no, I imagine they could do it from anywhere they are for probably from the way I was explained is it doesn't matter where they are inside as long as they're inside the whatchamacallit, the group. It doesn't matter. It could be in another galaxy. It just has to be part of that. And it's because it probably works like a Stargate system.
But that sounds more like the Borg, you know? I mean,
no, that's not the Borg. That just sounds like they're just taking your consciousness and rolling along.
Exactly like the Borg. If they can transmit, with thought and consciousness across the universe, that's the Borg, right there.
No, the Borg has to use physical.
Lots of connection across the galaxy.
But the Borg has to use physical technology to do it. The Greys don't.
They still have the technology. They're still doing it. They have their
not a technology
consciousness across the galaxy to each other.
It's simply a thought. The Borg wishes they could do a thought. they have to have serious technology. They have to have serious technology on both ends.
I mean, if the Borg showed up right now on this planet, there was no way we could defeat them. Not one way.
No, we'd be
fictional species.
There's
probably species that are as advanced as that out there. If they came here and had negative intentions, there's not a thing we could do to stop them.
But beings like the reptilians, the humans, or the Greys could easily handle the Borg. They would be like child's play to them. It's just all different in the way it works. But that's another thing we start talking about. Yes, if they got in the way of what they were doing, they'd handle them easily. It's but what's funny about it is
for themselves. Sorry, Joe.
Wait, what did you say? I didn't hear you.
I was just going to say, sorry, they can't think for themselves either, right? With sharing the same consciousness, really, right?
With the Borg, if they get disconnected, they are unable to function.
Yeah. But a Grey can transmit his consciousness pretty much anywhere. But what's weird about it is if you believe in reincarnation,
or kind of interference, they're cut off from the hive consciousness. The Grey, they would probably become functionless.
It doesn't work like that for them. So the Greys can be an independent, or they can work in a three, and they're a three group. But they don't have to be three; they can be one. And I'm pretty sure the way they've done it is they've just have pods stationed all over the place. So if you die, your body's just sent to the nearest pod, and it's uploaded into whatever body's in there. It's just probably. I mean, you got to remember this is a race that's almost 1 billion years old. They probably got a pretty big safety net around. It's not something, and you can go back to other things, other races that talk about it. But when you get to the reptilians, they have genetic memory. So do the humans. So how would that work in reincarnation?
Well,
I think that's why the reptilians did away with
reincarnation. Genetic memory is a thing. I think it is possible. I mean, there has to be. Otherwise, you're not gonna. There's no evolution. So, like, why do kitty cats have retracting claws? Because somewhere a creature evolved with that special ability, and it became a life-saving ability. For a cat to be able to walk without making noise helps them attack their prey, and when the prey for them comes, they can extend those claws to either defend themselves or climb up a tree and get the hell out of the way.
Well, think about reptilian family lines. If they're an alpha and they're going back 10,000 or 1,000,000 years, or even 500 million years, that family line's going to, when you're born and you receive that memory, and when you go through puberty and it comes into full standing, I mean, that's like having the instant universe in your head.
Well, they also, for that being that old, they probably have just as many unique biological.
But it's one of the reasons. So
this planet, I mean, they probably, because some of them are said to have wings. Maybe they can't actually fly. I don't know. Never.
No. There's at least 11 variety of reptilian that we know of that are all related. Yeah, but they're all related to each other. They're not a separate species. They all evolved on the same planet. They just evolved once they got off world. They started evolving differently. Or I think some of that was actually changed through genetics. Actually,
well, but I think the point is that the items, particularly the biological adaptations that are necessary, night vision for some creatures that can see at night, like cats and certain other nocturnal animals, that's in the genetic code. That's in there. That we're going to keep these eyes. We're going to keep these claws. and there has to be, because there's not any verbal communication that we can detect between mother cat and mother kitten, the kittens. Somehow they transmit information. I'll bet you they're just activating genetic memory, how to hunt, how to survive, and how to stay away from the bad guys.
But when you're talking about reptilian genetic memory, you're talking about a full set of memories. You're not talking about just something that's it's not like it's something that you do
Well, I think
because
instinct has to be the same way, because we don't know how the cat's in it, but they're
well,
transmitting.
instincts are about 50% of us.
They're still transmitting those behaviors into their cats. They're activating the genes by teaching them how to play and fight and
But
kill.
this is different. This is knowing what your great grandfather 100 million years ago knew. You can actually see it. And one of the things contactees tell you, one of the things that abductees tell you is when they know when they're a reptilian abductee, they'll tell you a lot of times they'll start talking about battles or diseases or planets, places they could never have been. But when you match it against other ones that work with the reptilians, it's theirs. It belongs to the reptilian. It's just because they carry that DNA, they can see it. They can actually see it. They can go back a long ways and see it. So it gives them it's a shame that you couldn't do it technologically, because it would probably give them a significant advantage on anyone on Earth. But it's there. And I mean, they talk about all kind of stuff. So, I don't even know how you sort through all of that memory and make new memories as you're going along.
Animals do communicate.
Is it collective?
Sorry, go ahead, Carolyn. I was just going to say that animals quickly communicate, but they communicate telepathically. Go ahead, Carolyn. Sorry.
I don't believe the reptilians are.
That was just my question.
Are collective mind. I believe it's collective memory.
Yeah.
But not collect. They're not hive mind mentality. They function as strictly as individuals.
Yeah, their family lines.
Society.
Their family lines dictate what their memories are and who they are and what they represent in each one of the tribes. And it's funny that they have 12 tribes like the Israelis do.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of strange. And they showed up in that part of the world. That's
Wasn't
where
there also a lost 13th tribe of at least the Israelis?
I don't. They say there's a rogue group that's running around that split a long time ago, came to Earth and split. But it's hard to get any real information on them, because somehow or another they're tied in with the Men in Black, and it's a decent.
Well, they brought them up also on the guy with the hairs show, and they suggest that there's a reptilian contingent of Earth beings that evolved from one of our dinosaur species, and I don't say which, but that live in the caverns underneath.
It would, if it was true, it would have been a raptor. Because
Harvard, yeah.
Well, Harvard and Stanford both aged. They took a regular raptor and aged it, I think, 60 million years. It looked like a gray. That's what it looked like.
Yes, it did.
It had big eyes. It just big head.
Almost kind of looked like. Do you remember the show Land of the Lost? It almost kind of, except for the hands, the eyes, and everything else, looked like a slee stack.
It was a weird thing, but they would have had to survive the extinction. So
yes. Well, being underground, they probably would have a much greater chance of surviving an extinction level event.
Yeah, but we don't know what their food was back then. I mean, the planet would have been pretty rough. It'd have been interesting, though. But see, that's another thing. You could probably ask a reptilian, because it would be in their genetic memory.
Well, if Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yeti, those other types of unknown scientific cryptids, they also would have had to have a significant breeding population, A and B, to hide throughout these extinction level events as well to survive.
I was thinking, the reason I can't see a Bigfoot, because they know I'm going to cook them. They know it's coming. They know. Joe's like, damn, that guy eats anything, man. Jesus. Yeah, when you're a coon ass, whatever you want to call it, we eat anything. It's just, even things that eat us, we don't care. Look, stuffed bear, stuffed alligator, stuff anything, man.
It is precisely that mentality. I don't swim in the ocean because there's things that can swallow me whole. No, thank you.
Yeah. There's some big sharks down there, I'll tell you that. They caught a 400-pound tiger right off. I mean, not even 600 yards from my leg.
Man.
Yeah, 4 guys got out there with a seine net and trapped him in the net. And
how long was it?
Good work for him. He was 400 pounds. They didn't say how long he was.
He's probably about 20, 22 feet then.
He's a big
pounds. He's at least that long.
They didn't kill him. They sold him to somebody. It was in the paper. It was like $250,000 or something. I was
Wow.
like, well, I didn't know that. I'll start trapping them bitches. Hell,
Big
look.
enough to put a 20-foot shark in it, though. I mean, come on.
They had a big seine there. It was big. It must have been 40 or 50 feet because you could see them. They were stretched out. And
They probably sold it to an aquarium, like
it was,
Baltimore aquarium or something.
But I know you had all kind of police out there, state troopers came out there. But I mean, there's a lot of big sharks around here. A lot of dolphins around here too. I mean, one of them moved in our bayou for 4 or 5 weeks until somebody ratted her out. She was all happy. He had lots of food in the bayou. She was out there playing around every day. And somebody called the marina. I mean, I forgot the name of them now. But they came out and got her. They did all kind of stuff. They cut her up and bruised her up. You could tell she was bleeding and stuff. They were they weren't even wildlife fishery. They were the guys who owned the aquarium. That's who came and got her.
For what
Like
reason?
Because somebody called them and told them. And wildlife and fishery made them release her, tag her and release her. And she was a young female. But she came in under the bridge, and once if there's no traffic, the bridge doesn't make any noise. But if there's a lot of traffic, it vibrates in the water right there. Probably scared her. But there was so much food in this bayou. She was like, "Shit on this! I'm not leaving. This is great." And there's no males to harass her here. So she's probably happy as can be. It's and I mean, I seen it was so foggy you couldn't even see the water, and I seen a fin. I'm like, "Is that a shark?" I told Linda, I said, "Come look at the shot. I don't see anything." I'm out there snapping pictures and running video because I couldn't see anything.
Luckily,
finally, I got the video where she was just humping through. Next morning, Linda went out there with her cane and hit the dock. She came right up to the dock. She's tripping. Yeah, she's. At first, I thought she might have been a tame dolphin that escaped from somewhere.
I love
Yes, but
dolphins.
she
I
stayed-
swam with them. It was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. It was really amazing.
I've got 6 beautiful otters that like to come eat my crabs, the little bastards. Me and the otters had a talk. We had a heart to heart. And I told
Do they
them,
hold hands when they sleep? Because I've seen videos of them when they do.
oh, they'd be out there. So they'd go steal a crab out of my trap and then flip over their backs and eat the crab.
Yes.
Well, we should probably do a bottom of the hour break since we started at the bottom of the hour.
Yes. You got a song, Laura, and
I do.
Okay, so I brought Martha out there before we went, and I said, little brown pretty otters, this is Martha. Pop, pop, pop. I said, now you eat my crabs again, and I'm not going to miss. You know what? They never had a crab trap again, not one time.
So Carrie Lynn and I went in on it together, right? Carrie Lynn?
What? Ooh, great.
Yeah.
Carrie Lynn?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I've got eagles and hawks and ospreys, you name it. It's like wild kingdom in my backyard. And every fish you can think of.
So Carrie Lynn and I went in on the music tonight. So this is a song that Carrie Lynn, you introduced me to this band. I hadn't heard of them. It's kind of a cool song. And it's by the band Clutch. You said they're from Maryland. And it's called Sucker for the Witch. So you tell me when you...
I think
Sorry.
like that already.
I thought it was pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
I love Clutch.
They're pretty good, actually. I didn't know about them. And I said, yeah, that's a cool song. So are we ready to play it now? Is that what you want me to do?
Yeah, go ahead. You got it.
I'm from Maryland. I've never heard of them.
Hey, Jay, bring in a couple of promos when she's finished.
Okay, give me 1 sec. We will load it up. Hopefully my audio's working. Let me check that. We don't want that to happen again. All right, give me a sec.
I think I know this band.
Since the 2018 tragedy, whispers have surrounded the Watts home. Unknowingly, even police body camera footage has caught unexplainable activity. Some believe the spirits of Shanann and her daughters remain. Let's delve into the theories that ask not just what is haunting places like this, but why. Join us in the chat, we want to hear your theories.
The power agency is built for those who move like predators, decide like weapons, and execute like their life depends on it. You're either fully in, or you're invisible.
Welcome to Paranormal Heart Podcast with host Kat Ward.
The Church of Mavis radio show, Friday nights at 8 p.m., 7 Central, starring Jeffrey Pritchett with his co-hosts Wham and Jay McNicholas, right here on the United Paranormal Radio Network, UPRN 107.7 FM, New Orleans. Well, that was it. If everybody's back, I don't know if everyone's still on. I guess I'm alone. Is there an echo? Oh, yay, I'm not alone.
I'm with you. This was what I had in my desk to look. This one was the one I was eating.
Oh, it's a Cadbury. Those are good. Those are good chocolates. My good friend in high school was the media director or the media executive or I guess advertising director, what you call it, whatever you call it, the executive level with the company that imports that into America. So like every Christmas, he'd send me like 2 or 3 Toblerone chocolate bars, 2 or 3 Toblerone chocolate oranges, like a stack of Altoids mints. Oh my God. I have so many Altoids mints tins. I don't know what to do with them all.
Hey,
They're empty.
Sherry, the one you think of late tonight is on Friday night. That's news on the flip side.
Oh,
I mean,
sure, Mish.
sorry for interrupting.
Cadbury Dairy Milk.
And because really I was shopping while hungry, there is a second one.
Dairy
I didn't
milk?
get dark chocolate, Michael. I got and salted caramel.
Have you tried? There's a
One of
a
the
Reese's candy bar
venues that I
called-
work out of, they're from
Huh?
one of the
Didn't hear what you
venues
said.
that I do my events out of. Their family is from Scotland, and they have a bakery, and everything is imported from Scotland. All those Cadbury chocolate bars, the treats, it is loaded full. It's so I love working there.
Europe has some good chocolatiers, but we have some here too. There's a candy bar that Reese's makes called the Crispity Crunchity Bar. Have you tried it?
Nope.
Do.
No.
It's okay. It's like, you know what a Reese's peanut butter cup is like.
Mhm.
It's like Reese's peanut butter cup
Yes.
and Butterfinger had a bastard child, and it was called Crispity Crunchity Bar. I'm not shitting you. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You have to. It is like
I'm
you know,
salivating.
back alley Reese's and peanut butter and Butterfinger got together. This is what came out.
My taste in chocolate have developed well beyond 11 years old. No offense, man. you know what? The best chocolate. You know what? This is gonna be crazy. It's gonna sound crazy. There's Aldi's, right? The supermarket Aldi's.
Yes.
They're German and kind of discount cheaper stuff. They've got freaking chocolate, and it's from Germany. That it's just beautiful, milky, and nice, and melts in your mouth, and it's like $1.89 for a bar. Unheard of, man.
Well, they
I
also
like
have,
Hershey's
Germany
with
also
almonds.
has that. I forget what it is, but it's that hazelnut paste. It's a chocolate. It's a
I like
chocolate
Hershey's
spread.
with almonds sometimes.
Nutella.
And I
Nutella,
gotta
yeah.
get the craving. I like Dove. Dove makes some decent chocolate bar. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. But then
Michael, I know the chocolate bars you're talking about. My daughter, when she went to university, had a friend that was an international student from Germany, and she used to get my daughter those chocolate bars all the time. They're yummy.
they're great. And it's cheap.
I know the ones that you're talking about. Mhm.
Good
And they're
ingredients.
cheap.
Yeah,
I like
good
Journeys,
ingredients. Like
too.
they didn't cut back, and I don't know. They're pretty. So it's like it's always nice to find cool stuff.
It's yummy.
Just doesn't matter what the price is. Really, if you like it, you like it.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, the way I found some cool stuff, it wasn't chocolate, but it was kind of. My roommate in college was. His name was Kim Byung Uk. First name was Kim. His last name was UK. Or his first name was Uk. UK. His last name is Kim. Anyway,
You say his name is Puke. Kim.
UK. We just call him Uk. But,
Kim Puke.
anyway, he brought these cigarettes back from the Korean store that they had, like a Korean grocery store that he went to. He brought these cigarettes to the dorm. One pack, I forget what the name of it was, but he said it's chocolate bar, something or other. And I was like, bullshit. So I lit it and I smoked it, and it tasted exactly like milk chocolate. The smoke tasted like milk. It was the coolest thing ever. Like, oh, that's really neat. Then he's like, well, try these. I'm like, what's this? He's like, it's a pine tree. I'm like, oh. So the next one tasted like pine saw. But the coolest thing was I've never, I was 23, 24 years old. I started smoking when I was 16. Never had a flavored cigarette before. Here, this super bad for your health chocolate flavored cigarette. It was the best flavor I had ever come across.
Pennsylvania's got a lot of good food, man. I gotta
Yeah, we
say,
do.
man. You know
Yeah,
what?
we
Especially,
do.
I love pretzels. Like for instance, dude, especially
You gotta come
especially
to your place where there's
real
a bar.
pumpernickel pretzels. Pumpernickel, no onion put in there, that kind of crap.
Pumpernickel, dude.
pumpernickel.
Listen.
And then I've got it. I can't get it locally, but I'm only like 45 minutes.
You're not going to get this locally. You got to come here. Up the street, literally 2 blocks that way from my house is a bar called Rough Edges. It's a local bar. They're closed except for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They don't open during the week at all. They have a stuffed pretzel. I swear to God, the thing's like this long. It's literally like 12 or 13 inches long, and then they stuff it with blue crab, like this thick all the way down, and it will fill you up. It is the most awesome stuff.
When I was down in Strasbourg, checking stuff out, I got one of those big Bavarian pretzels, man, with the beer cheese. You know what I mean? That's some good stuff. You feel guilty after you eat the whole thing.
How could you? I mean, it's enough for like 5 people.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. Oh yeah, and like they hook you up with portions there too.
I mean, well, we're also lucky in Maryland. Is where I first encountered the Mennonite stores. There's one near my old work a long time ago. We would go there for lunch, and you could get like just pretzel sticks, or you could get the traditionally tied ones. But when they took it out of the oven, literally it looked like they were slathering a gallon of melted butter on. They just take this like paintbrush and it's like 1 gallon.
What's that big Amish market though in Lancaster? It's like Lancaster, right? Like that huge Amish store.
Yeah.
It's the one everybody flocks to. I haven't been to that one particularly, but people are telling me to go there.
Yeah, they have good stuff. I mean, they literally.
Did you guys ever try one of their strawberry tarts?
No, their desserts are very at the store that I went to. The restaurant food was reasonably priced, but the takeaway food is kind of pricey. But they did have a fresh butcher that had, freshly butchered meat, which was also reasonably priced. So we did.
They don't like me, man.
Not the. I didn't try their desserts or their candies.
The Amish don't like that. I intimidate them. I think I don't know.
Well,
they get freaked out when I go in there.
They have conies. You can go to the Mennonite store and get conies for I think it's like $5.99 a pound. It's basically one rabbit is like $6. Skinned and ready to boil.
They like
those strawberry tarts. I'm telling you, bud, they weigh a pound.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I did try. They have I guess they're like Dutch style donuts that are stuffed with either lemon or jellies. Those are very good, but they're also like 1,000 calories a piece.
That's all right. If you're hungry,
yeah, it's very good. There's a guy up the street that has he's a Mennonite. And he has a farm store, so you can get fresh veggies and fresh desserts and they sell like tuna fish. Like you can just take the cup with you and make a sandwich at work. Very, very good stuff. You cannot go hungry in this state.
No, you can't.
Being from New York, we had access to every kind of food, like everything.
New York is only known for one food, and that's pizza, man.
Yeah, I mean, but authentic. You want real Indian, you get real Indian in New York. You can get real anything, really. But you get used to that. But then you travel other places where it doesn't hit the mark, so you got to really search out. Like the mom and pop places usually have it down pat, and diners too. I love a good diner. Because they're simple. You get a nice cheeseburger with onion rings. And boom,
yeah, diners are.
You're gonna get hooked up.
Diners also they're the best egg cooks. They never come out burnt.
Because you're partying all night, then you go to the diner, so it's even better. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
that's the other good thing about diners is they're open 24 hours a day. Usually, the good ones are, and then you can get breakfast any time of day.
Yeah, I like fast food. I don't like. I don't do fast food really.
I would agree that the afternoon menus are really, really bad for you. But if it's breakfast time, I will stop at a McDonald's for breakfast. They do have.
I would never do McDonald's. If I was pressed, I would do Wendy's because Wendy's at least has some decent stuff. Yeah. McDonald's is scary. McDonald's food, you can have that for 20 years in your backseat of your car. It'll still be exactly the same when you bought it. There's something really wrong with food that doesn't go moldy, you know what I mean, or go bad.
After those big events,
go ahead.
After the big events, I'm so hungry. I'm starving. As So I would hit those Wendy's and get like the Baconator and gobble it back, no problem. Wipe my chin, grab another one, and away I go. And then I started talking like Sylvia Brown. Wah, wah, wah. My body was like, "What the heck did you just shove in me? It's horrible. I can't even eat them anymore. They're
I'll do
horrible."
that for McDonald's when they do two Big Macs for $6 or two filet fish for $4. I'll do that because I can eat 4 filet of fish really quick or 2 Big Macs.
International House of Pancakes, man, 100%. You know that you get.
They
You,
have
you
good
can,
fried
you can
chicken
eat.
steak. They have
You
good
can
chicken
eat.
fried
They'll still bring more. My God.
Oh yeah.
But great omelet. I like their omelets, man, and their pancakes are all right too. You know.
Yeah, they have a good chicken fried steak. It's not as good as
All day breakfast is
Bob Evans,
fabulous.
but it's good.
Yeah, I haven't
Have
been
you
to
guys seen the price of McDonald's?
What's that?
man?
Bob Evans? What's that?
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
It's a restaurant.
Bob Evans,
It's
they
a
have a
restaurant.
restaurant, and they also sell
It's a
like
good
the
one.
mashed potatoes in the stores and the macaroni and cheese. They have a series of restaurants that have, it's kind of like the Cracker Barrel as a store that you walk through before you get to the restaurant. In some cases.
I love Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, the menu is
Would it be
very
like
Cracker
Farm Boy?
Barrel-like.
We have a Farm Boy here.
It's probably very similar.
Is that the same as Farm Boy?
I'll bet you it's very similar. Yeah, I would not be surprised.
We don't have any of those. Right.
It's like Bob's Big Boy. You all remember that? Bob's Big Boy.
First time I had fried green tomatoes was from a Cracker Barrel. I said I had to try. I had grits too, man. Fried green tomato. First time I ever had grits.
Oh,
Cracker
what
Barrel.
is a grit?
It's corn.
I know. That was.
Oh, grits are great, man. I love grits with butter. Grits
These were buttered the right way. I mean,
if
it
you're
was
a true
good.
Southerner, the only condiment that is allowed on grits is warm or a butter pat and maybe a little pepper. That's all.
Oh, bull.
Hot sauce, man. You gotta put
for half a
hot
stick of
sauces
butter.
for potato chips and burritos.
Half a
Yo,
stick
man,
of butter
right
on
there.
my grits.
What do you
Get
got
some-
there?
Get
Well,
some
see, what pepper?
moringas.
Ghost pepper sauce. Oh, okay. Take it.
That's right. A little bit of this.
Ghost pepper.
Chug. Let's see it.
I like
Doesn't
the
it
heat.
wreck your gut after a while?
I like the heat.
What was that, Caroline?
She's getting mauled.
I love grits, Heidi.
Oh, I asked if like the hot sauce wrecks your gut after a while.
Oh no, it's good for you.
Oh no, but it burns on the way in and the way out.
Hot sauce is actually a natural antibiotic. It actually draws poisons out of your blood. People have used it for years. All kinds of peppers. You know what I mean?
But they also use it in like areas like Thailand and Southeast Asia. They eat very hot, spicy food because it creates a sweat barrier on their skin, and when they go out into the atmosphere, it wicks off in the humidity, and they are cooler.
Has antiseptic properties. Supposed to even keep some mosquitoes away or whatever. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I would imagine. You ever smelled anyone?
I like the taste, and I got some nice Carolina Reapers on hand that I'm gonna slice up and put in a sub or something. But
Those sauces are hot, dude. No.
that's a nice pepper.
My kid eats like that.
What's the Scoville count on those peppers you're talking about?
They're around 1 million. They're all around there.
Oh, Jesus.
The ghost chilies and all that.
I'm
Carolina
getting
Reaper.
70, and I can barely.
You
eat
know
it.
something. What I learned about peppers, it really depends on the grower, and because you could get a grower to grow Reapers really a lot hotter. You know what I mean? And same for ghost chilies. Like a ghost chili is actually called a Naza Haloka. So the Naza Haloka, and you get the book Naza Haloka, like the chocolate ghost chilies, man. Oh my God, they're so good though. Trinidad Scorpion, all day long, man. Have you ever seen them? They look like just little nuggets of hell.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
my mom's Italian, so when we were younger, she used to every once in a while she'd make stuffed green bell peppers for dinner, which is basically just meat sauce in a boil or baked in a pepper. The pepper becomes the bowl, and you eat like it's like a taco salad. You eat the bowl and the salad all at once. But then later on, she started using poblano peppers, which are they're not hot really, but they have different flavor than green peppers, and those are really, really good.
I used to hate heat when I was young, and especially even in my 20s. I didn't get into hot peppers until I was like 35, somewhere around 40. Somewhere in that I started eating really hot, and then got into habaneros, and then making my own hot sauce, and it was really just they're all differently unique, but But I mean, like, but I used to take with me to restaurants, man. Like, whip out a bottle of hot sauce, and people are looking at me like, "What?" I'm like, because they're not going to have what you want, like
No,
like like maple syrup. I have to have real maple syrup. I can't have the crap, the fake stuff, man. I can't have it. It's just not, every Canadian will know that, man. I think that's probably even illegal to have Mrs. Butterworth up there or something like that. But real
I
maple
eat the fake stuff. The real stuff's super expensive, and I don't really
dark
like.
real dark amber. So if I'm going to have something,
60
Oh,
ounce or
yeah,
18 ounce
dark
bottle.
amber is yummy.
What is?
yeah, and we have a lot around here, upstate New York. We got a ton of
Dark
maple syrup.
amber.
There's a lot of local people that sell, and it's nice. There's a local farm that I deal with, and they're great, man. They really get that. I mean, there's a whole process. You can go light on the process, you can go heavy on the process, but you're gonna get that flavor. I love maple syrup. I love maple candy. I just had some maple candy like the other day. Good stuff, man.
I
keep it in the freezer.
Maple
I keep
candy.
a small jug in the freezer, and then the kids
That's
get
nice.
mad at me when I'm saying I'm taking a tug off the jug. It's like so good when it's really, really cold.
Yeah.
Michael, I got a food for you to try out. You like hot stuff, so I don't know if you've tried the brand Green Mountain Gringo. It's a real brand. You can get it in the stores. Green Mountain Gringo. They make a hot sauce or salsas, and they don't put. It's not like Yeah, I think it's mass produced, but they don't put like the normal, preservatives and stuff in them. Really, really good. But they have their hot sauce and I don't mind some hot sauce, but this guy, I can't make it past 10 chips without my head sweating. That's how hot it is.
Did you guys, whenever you went to get hot sauce or whatever, did you guys ever have to sign a waiver?
No.
But my friend we went to a bar one time, and the bartender asked us what he wanted, and I said, I'll have a tuna sandwich with no pickles. And then my friend said, I want your half dozen of your wings as hot as you can get them. And the bartender said, are you sure? And my friend said, yeah. So he's typing the order, and he looks back. He's like, tuna sandwich, no pickles. Like, yeah. And he looks back, wings, hot as I can get them. And we're like looking at each other like, what's wrong with this bartender? And then just before he walks away, he asked one more time, are you sure on the wings, as hot as I can get them? My friend's like, yeah. So he brings the wings out. My friend eats one. He takes one bite, actually. He doesn't eat the whole thing. And he leans over and he's like, I can't eat these. They're too freaking hot. He had to turn it back. And I'm like, dude, he gave you 3 outs. Why didn't you take the third one?
Yeah, they take most guys. It's not the same because they take that capsaicin and just dump it on there. You know what I mean? Like, so it's really not fit to eat. And then people take the challenge, and man, you could die. You could die like that, really.
Well, I don't know if that's what they're doing here, but I mean, he gave my friend 3 chances to change the order. So apparently they should have at least given him a waiver. Like, this is going to make your nasal passages empty out immediately.
My son had to sign a waiver when he went. Like, my son will eat all of that stuff, all of it, and he likes to cook hot like that as well too. I don't know how he does it, but
there's a group.
That. Do you guys watch that Hot Wings? Is it the show where they eat it?
Hot ones.
Go ahead.
No, I haven't seen it, but I did see a documentary on a band of Chinese in the mountains that they don't eat hot sauce per se. No, they boil their food in like a tall ceramic crock pot, like in the middle of just an open fire, and then they take the lid off and eat right straight out of a boiling pot with chopsticks and everything.
Yeah, but they have chilies, man. Chinese has some hot food. Indian, oh my God, Indian food.
Well, I mean, think about eating it right out of a boiling hot pot. That's how these people eat their food.
The Indian food place I order from, I tell them I want a kamikaze hot. It'll burn from the time you eat it till the time it leaves. You will sweat. You will sweat, man. You will sweat out whatever the hell is in there.
That's what I was saying about the salsa. You should try it. The hot sauce. I can't get past 10 chips before my head starts to catch on fire and I have to stop. I start sweating up here, so I stop.
I got a pretty high tolerance, which is crazy.
well, try it. You should try it. It's a very good brand. It's like I said, no preservatives. You could probably get it in your Walmart or your local grocery store. and it's like $5 a jar, so it's not going to set you back.
I make really good hot sauce. I do flame roasted on the grill, and then I like mixing it. Like I do raspberry hot sauce, and I do I make a nice mango chutney. I'm into that, So all with habanero base. That's my habanero.
Well,
I learned my lessons with habanero. I learned about rubber gloves is mostly important.
Yeah, because you touch your eyes with one after you.
No, the very first time I did it, I had all these things. I marinated them in a little bit of olive oil. I went out to put them on the grill, right? And then all the smoke started pouring off of there. I inhaled a huge amount of smoke. I'll tell you, man, that dry cleaned my lungs. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die on this deck out here, man, like making happy yarrows. Oh, my God. That was like just heavy duty, dude. You never want to breathe something like that because all that heat just goes right to your lungs. But, yep. But I like my hot sauce, man.
Hey, Joe, what's the hardest thing down in
And then not
Mississippi?
rub your eyes after either.
New Orleans is known for hot, man. That's where the heat is. New Orleans.
Wait, I couldn't hear you. I had something playing.
What's the hottest thing down there?
Hottest day, hottest thing.
Hottest food.
Pepper or food.
Food.
Oh man, I mean, we have Tabasco down here. That they have a whole island full of different peppers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they make I don't know, like 50 different. They make ghost peppers, but they make all kind of stuff. They got some really high. I mean, it depends what you want, but really, if you just want hot, just get some cayenne pepper and throw it on there.
New Orleans got some hot food. It's kind of the hot food capital in my book.
Well, they do. So it's like
to cover up you're eating swamp creatures, man. Like I think you got to cover that up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they cook. So New Orleans is different. So you have like your French Creole, your Spanish food, all that stuff. But New Orleans decided a long time ago, about 200 years ago, we'll just combine it all and make it unique to the city, and that's what they did. And that's why there's so many foods that people eat around the world and restaurants that come from here. That's where they were born here. And especially desserts, man. New Orleans must have 50 desserts to its credit. And some of the stuff is just.
What's the name of that cake, Joe?
They have what they call a Gentilly cake or Chantilly cake. So if you're outside of Louisiana, you're going to call it Chantilly cake because that's what it is. Here they're going to call it a Gentilly cake because that's the name of a place in the city where it actually came from. So. But all it is it's really creamy topping with like blueberries and strawberries, and they got that. And then they got dough bash. Dough bash is like if you eat dough bash, you're going to hell. Oh, that's a king cake. That's a whole different thing. King cakes are just French pastry. You can get them stuffed. You can get them like a cinnamon roll. You can get them. All of them are going to come with purple, green, and gold because it's a Mardi Gras colors. And they used to stick a baby in it. Now they're going to give you the baby. You can stick it in there.
Oh, I heard about that before. Yeah.
You could
whoever gets the baby got to.
What's the pastry in Thunder Bay called?
Wait, what was that?
Laura Lee, what's that pastry that's in Thunder Bay? That's Thunder Bay is known for.
It's called Persians. It's kind of like a cinnamon bun, but lighter. But it's the icing. Like I have the recipe somewhere, but you can only get them here. And then the other thing is bonbons. Now you guys would have them. They used to say we were the only ones that made them at Chinese food places. It's just they're really, really breaded, and then they're really deep fried, and they're actually really good. But we're known for Persians. I don't know why they're called Persians either.
Mm. It's a lot of good
Is
food.
it like a
down here,
cinnamon
there's a
bun
lot of.
crossover?
Sorry?
Is it a cinnamon bun cookie mashup?
No, it's homemade. It's like if you were making homemade sticky buns or Persians, but I don't know what or cinnamon buns. I don't know what they put in there though, because if you get them fresh, it's literally the softest, squishiest, and they're big. They're like this big, and it has this characteristic baby pink icing on top. They're like they've got a bit of cinnamon. They're rolled.
When you say soft and squishy, it sounds like you're going to need 6 of them. It's like one
Depends
bowl
how
of
big
cutting.
they are down here. I mean, we get cinnamon rolls down here that are like this big around. They are good too.
So what was the baby thing, Joe? The baby thing again. I've heard about that baby. What was it called?
When you get a king cake, you put
A
the
king
baby in. And whoever gets the baby has to buy the next king cake.
Ah, okay.
So see, that's how they start. So they start out carnival season. Everybody who owns a business or families buy a king cake, and then after that, whoever gets the baby buys the next one. That way, it goes through the entire season. There's always a king cake. They usually do it on Fridays, but there's always a king cake. So that's just a thing. And now king cakes used to be like $9. Now bitches are like 60. They don't get all fancy dancy with them and stuff. It's
$60 for a cake.
for a king cake. A king cake is nothing.
I just about died. We had blizzards last night for the first time in years. And I was looking at that. Oh, that'd be kind of cool to have a Dairy Queen ice cream cake. They were, mind you, it was on like Skip the Dishes. So I know they put it up by $1 or $2, right? It was $65.83 to get a small ice cream cake. I just about.
And what are
Okay,
they? They're like, for a regular cake, what are they? $10, $12 for like, a huge sheet cake. You can write anything you want on it.
I
I
guess.
don't know about that. Probably about $20 these days.
What's in the king
That's what
cake?
I said, about $20 for a big sheet cake, and then you can write whatever you want on it.
What's in the king cake, Joe, that they're up? Is it because they're so elaborately decorated?
Well,
Like,
no, that's nothing. They use a like a glazed icing and then throw the sprinkles all over it. It's not that. I mean, they just because they're so sought after, but like Polly's and some of the other places now use special doughs and special things. You see
That one there is raw.
these are cinnamon. Yeah, these are cinnamon king cakes is what these are. And you see this one's got a little stuffing inside of it over here. They do all kind of things with them. They're good to eat. They make a good snack. I mean, and if you just get a regular king cake from like your grocery store, they're going to probably be about $15-$20. If you get one like everybody's like, oh, I got to have this king cake, they're going to be $60, $65, $70.
Locally, they don't know how to make them. It's just bull crap with that the icing on top. But and then and instead of the baby, these guys took all these little plastic toys, like just these little stupid things, and shoved them all in there, like choking hazard type of thing, man. So,
Yeah, the ones they ship up north will have a baby, some beads, some doubloons, shit like
when
that.
you visit a place, it's so nice to have the. I'm a foodie, so it's very nice to have the flavors, especially people who are proud of what they make. It's nice.
But my problem is you see, for y'all, it's different. Y'all are exploring and tasting new things. For me, it's hard, man, when I'm traveling. You just don't find food in our country like you find
It's
out.
hard. It's hard. Yeah, you got to do ma and pa and stick with that.
Yeah, because when I'm traveling, first off, we're used. People always say when they hear me say the word spicy, they always think hot, but that's not all Louisiana food is hot or Mississippi food. It's just very so. Instead, most person when they're cooking or in a restaurant are going to use 4 or 5 seasons. They're going to use 14, 15, 16. It's just a whole different kind of cooking. And I mean, like I said, you have the Creole food has a Spanish, a French, African. It's all these flavors blended together. You just don't find food like that anywhere, and it's hard, man. LA is okay. I mean, if you just want to eat, that's fine. I mean, the food's fine. It's expensive, but it's fine. It wasn't even that bad this year as it was last year. But I think a Woohoo burger was like $40. A regular burger was like $35. It wasn't all that much.
Crazy, dude.
Joe, you know what? I remember now where I heard about the baby. That it was a story somebody posted on a website, and I think they had visited New Orleans for the first time, and they were in their hotel, and they had this fresh bakery that stayed in the hotel. It was a high-end hotel, and so they were super, super hungry. It was these 2 girls, and so they saw this delicious-looking cake in the bakery in their hotel, so they grabbed it, not knowing about the baby in there, and the girl took a huge bite and broke her tooth. And then she went back down there and she goes, what the heck is a baby doing in my cake? And now I remember where I heard the story. That's what happened.
Well, there's been a lot of people turning that. That's why eventually they stopped doing it. The insurance companies made them stop doing it. Actually,
Well, that's when you laugh and say, and you have to buy the next cake.
Yeah.
That's a double B.
On the way
But I
to
mean,
the dentist.
like the tiramisu is really good down here. Oh my God. I watched a couple of friends of mine. I brought them to this one restaurant called Drago's. I said we were getting grilled oysters and tiramisu, and they were like, "Joe, they couldn't stop because both of them told me, "Ooh, I'm never going to eat an oyster." I said, "Fine, I'll eat them." So they come to the table too. I got a dozen and a half. They smelled so delicious. They're like, "What's up? What?" I said, "You said you're not going to eat any." They ate more than half of them. I'm like, "Get off my friggin' oyster!"
Were they oysters Rockefeller or just the raw
No,
ones?
these are grilled oysters. So
Oh,
Louisiana
okay.
has a special way of grilling an oyster over an open flame with garlic, real butter, salt and pepper, and Parmesan cheese.
Oh,
And that's
wow.
pretty much all it is. And they are absolutely freaking fabulous. I mean, you can get Rockefeller, you can get Florentine. There's quite a few. There's one place down here that specializes in oysters, and they make about 9 different types. But you can go get like a Bobo tray or something. But they just they
There's
are
a
really,
restaurant
really
in
good.
Savannah that makes an oyster dish called Oysters Savannah, and it was really good. There was also a cooked oyster, but maybe it was similar to what you just described, but it had some sort of cheese on top, and I don't know if it was garlicky or not, but they were they weren't slimy and gushy. They were actually really yummy.
But they sound good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's just so many different foods to
I
try
want
down
to
here.
try.
And then there's things like just going downtown and getting a muffalata and a Barks root beer.
Oh,
It's just
muffalata. We've talked about that so many times.
it's
That's
an
amazing. I got to
experience
try
in itself. What reason we tell people to go to Central Grocery is because most people, wherever you are in the country, or for that matter, anywhere they sell muffalatas, usually use a heavy vinegar olive salad. Down
Mm-hmm.
here, because they bring it, it's imported from Italy at the Central Grocery, which is basically an Italian
So
import store.
good.
They use a garlic flavored olive oil, which is really good. So on the sandwich, you get what, 3 meats, 2 cheeses. It's just good stuff. You can heat them, not heat them. It doesn't matter. However you want to eat them. But I'll tell you what, some days you'll go down, there'll be lines down the street, people trying to get damn muffalata. And you
They're
can't get
so
them shipped because it's like $100 to get 2 of them shipped.
Yeah, but the amount of stuff they put in them, and they're so good.
Yeah, to get one, they got them by my stepdaughter's house. They sell them at one of the grocery stores. They're $30. They were all worth the $30. You go downtown, they're 25. But
For one
downtown's different because
sandwich?
you could just sit in the restaurant and eat. Yeah, for one sandwich. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh man, the damn thing is this big around, dude. It's this thick.
Yeah.
It's this big around. But you want to get a po' boy down here, like so you want to go get a po' boy about yay long and about yay big around. It's gonna cost you about $14. Best roast beef you'll ever eat in your entire life.
It would cost you about $17 for
It's,
18-inch sub.
So we don't eat those because they got soft, squunchy bread, and you can't have that when you're eating po' boys, especially when you're eating gravy-soaked po' boys. You got to have that crunch. It's a different sandwich. All my friends say, "Oh, you never had it." I said, "I've eaten lots of subs. It ain't the same as a po' boy. It's not the same sandwich." It's
Hey, here in Pittsburgh, we put gravy on our French fries.
man, we put gravy on everything.
Yeah.
We literally put gravy on everything. We don't care what it is. It's getting gravy on it, or it's getting
Gravy on the
stuffed.
French fries.
Poutine, that's a French thing. And I had it in Quebec when I was on a French exchange when I was 14. Nobody heard of it. And yeah, gravy and French fries. They put
Well,
cheese.
that's actually how the po' boy got invented when they were digging the canals on Canal Street down in the city. They needed something to feed the people here. I think it was the Irish that were digging the canal. It might have been a Chinese, I'm not sure, but they decided that they would make a roast beef debris. So they were selling roast beef sandwiches if you could afford it. But what they would do is they would take the roast beef debris and put it on a sandwich, and you get a piece of bread about this long, about yay thick, two-sided. They put the debris on it and the gravy for 5 cents.
Oh, wow.
Well, eat for them 5 cents was probably a little bit of money. Today we're all like 5 cents is what? You wouldn't been there and picked the damn thing up. But I mean, the food is. I mean, that's one of my friends goes, "Oh, you got to take me out. We got to go here. We got to go here." They got a lot of good Italian restaurants out here. They got a lot of good American restaurants out here. They got some best fried chicken you're gonna ever eat anywhere. They have places that just specialize in fried chicken, but most cities might have one or two. We have like 10. So you can go find the ones you want. Plus, there's all kind of other places that serve chickens, but it's whatever kind of food you really want. And then if you just want some authentic soul food, there's a couple of those restaurants down here. If you want to try chitlins out, go give it a try, man.
No, thank
Cracklins.
you.
Chitlins are nasty. I don't care what anybody says. I've had them a couple of different ways. I'm not a big fan of them.
Unless you find somebody who knows how to cook them and clean
Oh
them.
no, these old ladies cook for the church. They were fabulous cooks. They just cracklins are just nasty. Now I mean not cracklins. The other one's nasty. Cracklins are good. Cracklins are a whole different thing. The ones we get down here, they greasy and fat filled. Oh God, man, you shouldn't even eat the things. Every one is probably bringing you closer to a heart attack. I'm telling you. But you can't stop eating them. They're like the Lay's potato chip. Once you eat one, you're done, man. You eat the whole bag. Oh man. And they come in greasy paper bags. You get a
Oh,
paper.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember
Kinda-
you said during Mardi Gras, you said if we ever come down there, anybody, you'd show us where to go in the quarter. And then you were talking about the drinks that were like the size of like bigger than a punch
Oh,
bowl.
now I see that. Now they got a drink down there that 6 of us could drink easily. It cost us all probably about $15, and it's 3.5 foot tall. And I think 16 inches around. They got one that's 3 foot tall too, but it's all 151. It's insane how much alcohol is in it. It's like 3 bottles of alcohol in it, and Hawaiian punch basically, and I mean, you'll get ripped if it becomes with these big long straws. And what's nice is you can go out in the garden area because there's a garden area. There's a what they call it, a fire. Anyway, they got a fountain with the fire pit inside of it. It's just nice, beautiful flames going out there. It's a fire garden. And you can sit out there in the gardens underneath the trees, and they got 2 bars right there. They got a little restaurant right next to you if you want to eat there, and just enjoy what's going on there. Big screen TVs, like if you want to go for a game or something like that. The place is 265 years old, so there's lots of spirit there. Everything when you're in the deep quarter, as I like to call it, in the Vieux-Carré and the Marigny, everything there is 200 and 300 years old, and the stuff that hasn't has been burnt down and rebuilt and is at least 200 years old. So you get. It's like I was listening to Carolyn the other day talking. We were She was talking. And I got to thinking between. So they've got St. Louis Cathedral, and they've got a row of buildings on the side of them, and it's Pirates Alley is what it's called. And there's one on each side of the church. So in the old days, they would sell the slaves on one side, hang the slaves on the other side. Well, hang anybody on the side, wasn't just slaves. You were bad, that's where you got hung. So the place is unbelievably haunted. And we've been out there at night. This is a funny story. We're out there one day, we're walking along, we're drunk as shit. I mean, we've been drinking since like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're just walking, strolling along on the side of it. My friend goes, "Look at that girl in that big dress. That looks like one of the dresses from like the 1800s." And she's just strolling along, and this guy comes in front and joins us, and we're just watching, and we're watching them, and they just poof. Well, the people on the side of us just freaked out. Got up and started running. They were sitting down eating. There was 2 sets of people who just left when it happened. And we were all just sitting there going, okay, well, that was interesting. The place is weird. Sometimes you'll be standing there and you'll feel something like tapping on your shoulder. Or sometimes you'll feel a tap and then a push on your shoulder, like move along. It's really weird. I can't tell you how many things have been seen in them 2 corridors.
Love that.
That's what I'm saying. It's a great place to go hang out. If you have any intuitive at all, it'll fill your brain. You'll just be like, you actually have to kind of stop sometimes and block some of it out so that you can actually move through the rest. Because it's not just that the fact that the slaves were sold and killed there, it was the French Quarter itself. And so many people come through there, and there's so many people that come through there today, and there's so much stuff that happens there. And you do a lot of times, you'll be sitting out there more than one time. We've seen what looked to be people from 1800, 1700 just strolling along. What was funny is, back then, they used to cut these little trenches in the ground about this wide, about this deep, so ladies could squat and pee and keep walking. And so every now and then, you'll be sitting out there watching, you'll see one just stop. You know what they're doing, but it's a ghost. It might not be a ghost. It might be whatever you call them when it's a replay. When something makes an impression on the area.
An imprinted memory or an imprinted.
It's hard to say what it is. I mean, but there's a lot of it. The whole quarter's like that. It doesn't matter what building you go into. Somebody's died, have been murdered, or something's happened to them.
Residual.
Yeah. So
residual.
Yeah, so it's to say what it is. It's like what's the guy from Face Off? He bought the other one, Nicolas Cage. He bought a place down here. It was haunted as all fuck. He didn't know. He tried not to sell. He had kept it for a few years, like 5 or 6 years. The place was just haunted. They told him. So it had upstairs. It had like a walkway, that looked over down to the downstairs. And he said, sometimes they would see this woman in this beautiful, elegant white dress coming through and walking downstairs and walking back upstairs. And every now and then it would just freak out and change into something horrible. and he didn't believe him when he bought the house. Well, he had it happen to him 4 or 5 times. He said, but he brought in several investigating teams, several from the city itself, and then several from outside. It freaked everyone who went there flipped out. Everyone who went there flipped out. It's
What is the haunted how the big haunted house? The woman was a mad lady and she killed all these slaves for the Lori house.
No, I don't know. It might be. I'd have to look it up. I'd have to look it up to be sure. There's some monsters down here.
Rose Hall in Jamaica.
Yeah. There's just
Johnny Cash
so
wrote a
much.
song about it.
Yeah, I like Johnny Cash's last song, even though it's hard to listen to. Man, that's a hard song to just sit there and listen to. What's the matter, girls?
When he sang "Hurt," that was
Yeah.
a remake,
Johnny Cash's that song you made hurt. It's he did it's a tough song. It's a good chunk of his life he's talking about, but it's probably a good chunk of a lot of people's lives.
That's the song I was gonna play.
Is it?
Get it out here. Only one person playing songs. We only let one person a night play songs, so get over that.
He's just doing a cover.
No. Laura Lee's playing music. You wasn't here. You wasn't here at the beginning when I was telling everybody the new rules were. That's right. You weren't here yet.
Nope.
So we're only doing one person doing music on any show, just for certain reasons. But I got my ass chewed yet today by the boss lady and by several listeners of the network about talking over each other. I said, were we that bad last night? And she was like, yes, you were. I was like, she does listen. I forget sometimes.
I was gonna say something, but everybody talked over me, man.
Yeah, whatever. You worse than the rest of us. Well, you're probably about even with me, but
I think we should let Jay be the DJ because he plays great music.
Well, no, what we're gonna do, because we have we do 2 shows a weekend. So what we're gonna start doing, we're gonna let. I actually enjoyed it first time, but we're gonna let one host play it for each night. So like next Friday will be whoever, next Saturday will be whoever, and we just work it through like that. That way, hopefully, it gives you a chance to set the tone for the show, because you're gonna be guiding us through the music. But anyway, we're getting close, and we're actually late on this break, so we'll go on here in just a minute. Clara Wren Davis. Are you like one of the murderer people? 3 titles, three names. Clara Wren Davis. I'm just I'm scared you might pull out a knife and go after Dexter or something.
Oh no, that ain't happening. Nope.
Yeah. Anyway, Clara, you can join us on. We're
When
on.
did all
We're
the nicknames happen?
we started. We always have nicknames. We're always add nicknames to people. I can't help myself. Don't worry, Carrie Lynn. I'll figure out one for you sooner or later. I even have one for the boss lady, but I can't tell you.
You can't say it on air though.
Yeah, no, I can say. Yeah, no, you're right. I can say it. I'll get hurt. She's mean, people. Somebody the other night, I was just because last night that lady was giving me shit, and she wrote to me again today about you're gonna get fired, you're gonna get fired, you're gonna get fired, and I'm like, sweetie, I own the place, they can't fire me. What the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, get over it.
The beautiful ones are always cruel.
I did tell her though, feel free to write to Michelle. Michelle would be more than happy to talk to us. So I warned Michelle some crazy woman writes to her. That's what it was about. Look, there she is right there. Look, the demon. You see, you can't even speak her name. She's like a demon. I mean, Jesus.
Yep.
Monitoring us, man.
But she knows I love her. She does.
She is in control.
So if she's supposed to be, she's the boss.
She hears and sees all.
Anyway, we're getting ready to go to break anyway. But what's that, Johnny? We're in 2 YouTubes, 2 Rumbles. You can get us on there. Oh, we're short one. Somebody can throw up a destination. We're short a destination up there. Yeah, you can get us on there. I mean, if you want to come into the chat room here with us, that's where you need to be. I mean, you can message me all night long, and I may answer you, I may not, but you can come in here because one of the hosts will display it. If you come in here, they'll put you up on a screen. Ooh, yeah, you'll be all special and stuff. Yes, and then all 6 of us can mess with you. I was being
Don't
nice.
talk over them.
Yes, no talking over it. That's what the mute button's for. Damn it.
No.
What's
Yes.
anyway? We got to go to break. Lori, take us to
No, it's
break.
Carrie Lynn and I. We teamed up together. So.
Okay, well, Carrie Lynn and Laura Lee take us to break.
Okay, give me a sec.
Okay, KLL take us to break.
KLL,
Okay,
there
I'll
you
take
go.
it.
Give me 1 sec. Okay, 1 second here. And Carrie Lynn, I'll get you to check and make sure that the mute button's not muted. I gotta move this. Yeah, give me a sec, guys. Sorry, so too many people in here.
Jackie Lee.
And don't
Jackie
recognize.
Lee, like Jackie Lee's daughter or something. He's got a daughter. He'll come do some kung fu.
I think this
Kung
is
fu
the
on
one.
air.
Hopefully that's the right one. We'll see, guys. Like, yeah, it is good.
We have a demon with us. Yeah, you let me hot, baby. Okay, welcome back to News on the Flip Side, man. Yes, we call it. Oh, this isn't. It's on the flip side. No, this is the fucking chat. See, I'm on the wrong fucking show. I'm in the wrong place. Oh my god. Oh, boop, boop. Anyway, I want to do these 16. What?
I did what? Indian and Japanese at one time.
It's been a long week.
Yes.
This thing is turn my audio back on.
You'll be a long week. I'll tell you.
It's safe now.
Okay. Okay. Now you made me list my thing with my 16 desserts on it. Gosh dang it.
Okay, sorry.
That's gosh, double gosh dang it. Okay, where the hell did it go? I mean, it was just there a minute ago. Oh, God, this is bullshit. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so New Orleans is famous for 16 desserts, by the way. One of the ones is bananas foster. Have any of y'all ever had bananas foster?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
No.
Wait, that's really
Now,
sweet.
no. It depends how it's made. If it's made with real rum, it's not that sweet. Especially, you got to burn it off. So you got to put the 151 in there, your bananas, your ice cream, and you got to light this shit on fire. And and the flame is actually what helps to really give it the flavor that you want. And whoever asked that question, yes, you can get drunk off if you're using the right alcohol. I'm just saying. It can be can put you in a better mood. Let's see, what was number 2? What the hell was beignets? Well, of course beignets. Yeah, France wishes they invented beignets. Yeah, it's bread pudding. See, I didn't know Louisiana invented bread pudding.
That's
Man,
gross.
good bread pudding.
That's gross.
Oh man, good bread pudding is fabulous. Oh, well, this is even grosser for you then. Bread pudding souffle.
Oh, it's very yummy. My son makes it. It's so good.
And peach cobbler is one of their
There you
desserts.
go. I can do that.
It's the turtle cookie, which is one of my favorite cookies. Just a soft little cookie with a chunk of fudge on top of it. I mean, come on, that's just probably bad for you too, but it is good. A lot of people put pecans in the pecan pie, and then I know they're gonna have grilled pecan pie. It's with ice cream on top. Yeah, that's just insanity. Is what that is. Have y'all had pralines? Oh my God, pralines is just sugar.
Yeah, it is. It's like broken up peanuts on a sheet of syrup that's hardened to you drop it. And it breaks
I
into
mean,
pieces.
you can feel the grain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got rum in it too. For some reason, it's got butter and rum and sugar is what it's got. But I mean, it's got so much sugar in it that you can actually still feel it's soft, but you can still feel the grain in your mouth. King cakes, of course, we just were talking about those nasty things. Snowball.
Bread pudding is dead.
Snowballs. Who has had a snowball? Y'all have had snowballs, man. You can't. Oh man, snowballs are freaking fabulous. That's what they invented the daiquiri. Snowballs what invented the damn daiquiri.
The coconut can get in your teeth and bother you all day long.
Yeah. So the reason the daiquiri got invented because the snowball we used to take and pour rum into the snowball, and eventually it became daiquiris. Oh, donuts, man, donuts. The whole country without donuts. Oh, donuts. So see everything down here. Oh, there's Gentilly cake. Yeah, right there. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's good. And then I talked about the Dobage earlier. That's another good cake, man. No wonder everybody's so fat down here. Sweet potato pie and scones. Ugh. Yes.
Oh wow.
And the last one is a banana brown butter tart. Ooh, it looks really good.
That sounds good.
Yes, and you know, and God knows what's invented since this list came out. No, Louisiana likes they got fat people here. People, what's why? It's not just the desserts. I mean, there's all kind of good stuff. There's food everywhere you go. You know, most cities you walk through downtown, there'd be a dozen restaurants or so. Down here, it's like, oh no, there's like 50, 60. I don't even know how they support each
Disagree.
other.
When it comes down to desserts, there's only two words that apply: lemon meringue pie.
Now, you see, my wife would agree with you. She would agree with you. She loves that. Miss Founder's lemon meringue pie. Now, I could go for a good banana cream pie.
I like banana cream pie once in a while. That's good.
Those are good.
Yeah, I can eat them often. I can eat
Cream.
everyone.
Boston cream's good too, once in a while.
Yeah,
I can make a mean custard.
if you don't like, I mean, Boston cream is some of the others, but I tend to go for the more sweeter ones.
Amelia needs to be here for food porn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amelia
No.
Pizzano is the queen of food porn on the network.
Oh yes, she is too by far, and she's a damn good cook to boot. It's my favorite dessert in the world. I don't know, man.
2 words.
I know.
Lemon meringue pie.
I know.
No one gets that joke. It's 3 words. Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. Repeat.
Well, I learned how to make a chocolate mousse. Yeah, I learned how to make a chocolate mousse when I was at the Playboy Club. It was pretty neat.
Chocolate mousses are
Okay, so why were you cooking at the Playboy?
I was a dessert chef actually.
A what?
I was a dessert chef.
I thought you
So
said
what do
you
you
were
mean?
My uncle was he was a
caught
sous
on the
chef.
grounds, and to get out of going to jail, they made him bake for a party they were having at the time.
This was in New Orleans. No, there was back then. There were these clubs in several big cities around the country.
Yeah,
And my uncle got hired. He was a sous chef there, and they needed a dessert chef. He said he'd show me how to do it. So man, I mean, for the day, I was making shitloads of money. It was. They even gave you a percentage of the tips that came through because they were such a high volume of tips that came in. But
I thought you said you were a spirit chef. That's why I said a what?
No. I was. That's what I did. And of course, you know, once you work there, you have free membership to the club. So, after all, it is the Playboy Club, and I was 19.
Stories?
Yeah.
Nothing I can say in polite company. Nothing that would fit on the R-rated show. Let's put it that way.
No, Michelle, like you're tongue-tied, but she has it hot.
Do you think all the Playboy bunnies that have died and so tragically would haunt there? Do you think they would haunt there?
I would think.
No. Now none of them exist anymore. So they're all business places and restaurants and stuff
Hef's
like
hanging
that.
out there.
And a lot of them been tore down, you know, and other stuff's been put there. It's and down here it's hard because we get inundated with salt water so often. It's hard for a spirit to really stay grounded. Depends what part of town they're in. So if they're in the old, and like in New Orleans, if they're in the old town, like the Marigny or St. Charles. But I mean, like you got to remember, so right after Katrina, the entire area of New Orleans was under 16 foot of salt water. So I mean, if you're a ghost or demon, you're not having a good time. And so the inner city, the old city, the Bouqueray, the St. Charles, and that's all built on high ground. It was all above sea level.
That actually sparks a pretty good question because they do that in the one with Dean and whatever the Supernatural. Oh, they always put a salt circle around the hotel room or around where they want to be protected. What does the salt do to keep spirits away? I don't
No, spirit won't cross salt. They won't, and they don't like moving water, and they don't like salt. We have both. We have moving water and salt.
When you move into a place, you're supposed to put a salt circle around your home. Just take the salt and go all the way around the home and throw some white light out there. Tell whatever there to leave.
And Linda puts enchantments at the front and back doors, and there's with
window ledges.
They
window ledges.
It's weird. Well, we have double insulated windows filled with argon, so that should reflect any spirit coming in. It should. It's a gas. I don't think a spirit would
It's
be
a noble
happy.
gas.
So it's so I don't think it's weird. how things are. This house was designed for somebody who wanted, if you wanted to be deep into magic, this is the place to be because it's just what it's connected to. You have moving water bayou, you have a large gulf and a large bay. You're like in the middle of it. You're in the middle of the woods, but yet in the city
You're
at the
living
same
in
time.
Baba Yaga's hut. You're in Baba
It's a
Yaga's
crazy
dancing
place to
hut.
be. I
Oh,
mean,
I would love that.
His house is on stilts. I'm not lying. He's living in
yeah,
Baba
it's
Yaga's dancing hut.
my house is
I
on
would
stilts.
love
That's for
that.
sure.
But the view from your back, you're like when you've shared pictures, it is beautiful where you live, Joe.
No, right now my big ass mimosa is blooming right now. It covers a quarter of the yard in pink. It's got this deep, sweet smell when you get up in the morning or late in the afternoon. I mean, it is sweet smell. Now, two of my crepe myrtles back there where Maxie and Charlie are living, they're blooming, but they're a brilliant, pretty white. They bloom against that. My roses in the front are blooming. Pretty soon, my crepes on the side, my purple ones will start blooming. And we got a bunch of different flower bushes and trees in the property. We got all kind of wildlife. Um, anything I find dangerous,
Otters.
I
Your
get rid
otters,
of.
cute.
My otters love it here, but well, hey, look, my otters don't have fun. They stay out of my crab traps. We don't have a problem. Because I went to game wildlife fishery and said, "Look, you need to come get them. Or I'm going to kill them." And he's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, they're costing me a fortune. They're destroying all. I mean, these traps are $60 a piece, and not including whatever you're losing in crabs." So I'm like, "Look." I don't want to kill them. They're really cute and fun and pretty, but they need to stay away from my stuff. And that's when I went out there with the gun and shot it by them. And after that, now they'll get out there right now and grab a oyster and flip over in their back and float around, beat a rock on it, eat the oyster. They stay away from my crab traps, though. They've
That's
learned. And in all fairness to them, in the beginning, that when you bait the crab trap, you throw it out there. It's out about 15, 20 feet out in the bayou, so it's out in the water, and they're just swimming around. They see this thing full of crabs. They're like, "Shh, yeah, all right."
They probably smell it first with their underwater detection.
I've caught all kinds of stuff in them traps.
Water for several miles, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. And I caught a nice, beautiful redfish swum into one, a big old red. I left him in there for bait, filled the trap up with crabs in like 3 days.
Oh wow! What kind, Joe? What kind
blue
of crab?
crabs. We have blue crabs. We have really good. Yeah, they're really good crabs. Got the best flavor. I've eaten king crab. I've eaten a lot of different kind of crab. The blue to me is my favorite. It's got a really good solid flavor to it. Mixes well with stuff. And I like making stuffed mushrooms out of it too. Oh my god, I make stuffed mushrooms make you cry.
Ooh.
I get friends when they find out I'm making.
What kind of mushroom and how big?
Well, it depends what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes I'll use the. They're not button mushrooms. They're about yay big around, but I blanch them so they
It was
shrink
a
down.
joke. Carrie Lynn got it. I meant, like the magic kind.
Oh well, it's funny you brought that up because recently they started. So recently they stopped taking. So down here, about in the 60s or 70s, they started adding this stuff to cattle food. So when they were shipped,
Cattle food?
So they wouldn't grow the magic
it wouldn't grow mushrooms. Yeah, they would put this stuff in cattle food. It wouldn't grow mushrooms. But recently, I think they found out it was harmful, so they took it out.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to recover or not.
Red caps. Washington D.C. is one of the few. I mean, it might be the only one I think that has legal magic mushrooms as a recreational purchase. But I mean, you don't buy raw. They don't just sell you raw mushrooms. They're either in a candy bar or some other kind of medium.
Well, mushrooms. Let me think. I've done mushrooms. I did when I was younger. I did a couple of times.
Oh, they're fun.
Oh, you're missing out. How can you be a psychic and not have done mushrooms? Shame on you.
I've eaten them raw. I've
never even done pot.
They're yummy.
But you know what? In all fairness, though, I'm picking on you about it, but I'm picking on you about it. But you got to be psychics have to be careful with mushrooms because it can be a rush of stuff come in really fast. I mean, you're a veteran, so you probably protect yourself, but you still got to be careful.
Wow.
It can just be a rush, when you because you're letting your guard down and crossing into another dimension at the same time.
Yeah.
It could be a rush.
No, thank you. I have control issues. Yes, she is the lunch lady. That lunch lady. She's serving.
Yeah. I've tried them once, and I had so much fun because I couldn't stop laughing. Like a friend of mine made them into. They were gross. She made peanut butter sandwiches, so young, and put them in there, and I just couldn't stop laughing. Like everybody was floating, and
Well, now they're giving them to people with ADHD and other things.
I was
They're
really
starting to
young
give them
though.
to them. And they're giving it's a much milder dose, but they're starting to give them to a lot of people now. It's supposed to be
Wow.
therapeutic. I can't do it because I'm kind of like you. I have
Microdose.
control issues. I've always had control issues. I've never been somebody. That's why I can't really ever get totally drunk without drinking like 3 or 4 bottles or something. It's one of them things. Drugs are the same way. So
You know what, though? Research is showing that people that have gone for therapy, say with PTSD or severe issues in depression, when they're in a controlled setting, like microdoses of ketamine, LSD, or mushrooms, whatever it is, they're making major, major progress that they wouldn't even see. They're saying with years of therapy.
Well, we were talking about this the other night on
using
the
for a
other
lot of things.
show, particularly with LSD. I think we were talking about it on Church of Mavis. It is already a microdose. I mean, it's micro kilograms or micro. It's like less than
Yeah, LSD is just that's
1% to get you fully tripping for 14 hours. And we were talking about why it wasn't used clinically, and I said, well, that's probably the reason. It's because it's already such a low dose that it'll affect you for half a day. That it's probably too hard to gauge for different body type sizes and tolerances, and you can kill somebody by giving them too much.
A friend of mine that used to be the lead singer for Quick Zipper, he comes over one day and he goes, "Oh, look, I got some sugar cubes for you." I said, "Yeah, what?" So I grab one, pop one in my mouth. I'm munching a sugar cube. He looks at me. He said, "It's like a double dose each cube." I said, "Double dose of what?" He said, "A24. The shit they used to use in Vietnam." I was ripped. Good 48 hours, man. I was just. I actually had to leave work.
That's horrifying.
I was getting so up. I said, "Okay, I got to go." And then I got in my car, started driving, and I felt like I was doing 80. I was doing like 15. I was like, okay. Then so I called a friend of mine. I stopped over because I had to use a payphone. We didn't have cell phones back then. And said, "Will you come get me?" He had his wife dropped him off and drove me home in my car. I was ripped. I mean, I really was. I called my boss. I'm going to be in work for at least 2 days. And I lived in what they call Fat City back then, which is a bunch of bars. And I just went wandering through the bars for 2 days. Solid, just never left the club. Just was wandering, eating, drinking, smoking until I finally came down. It was a good 48 hours at least. And a couple of my friends decided they were going to hang out and be my bodyguards and make sure I was safe.
Oh, thank God. Kurt, I've been reading up on Ibogaine, actually. That's
man.
They've got out there. It's interesting. I've seen you mention it a few times in chat over the past couple of weeks. And yeah, it's got some promising things that are coming out about it.
Well, they say Elon Musk is hooked on ketamine, so
He looks like he's wired on something. I mean, if he's not a cokehead or 12 cup of coffee day drinker, he's wired on something.
Making
think he was
He can't stand still.
of-
He's always doing this. He's like, it's like one of those heroin addicts.
well, but he might be using ketamine. Actually, I would bet you if he was using ketamine, it was to sleep.
Yeah.
Do you believe he was kicked out, or do you believe he left on his own?
No. So everybody knows this was set from day one. May 31st was when he was supposed to leave. That's from day one. That's when he took in when he came in and did things. The press asked him. He said, "I'm here on May 31st, and I'm gone." So I never did understand why the liberals got so upset about it. I guess because he was finding so much shit. But he was never supposed to stay there. It was never supposed to be a job. That's why I always found. That's why I couldn't understand why so many people were getting upset about it. But he did say from day one, "You can go find if you're happy self. May 31st, I'm out." And then he was out. And now we'll see if there's any hard feelings if anybody starts criticizing anybody.
Well, I mean, I think there are. I mean, people are mad at him for finding fraud in the government, but they're not mad at the people who perpetrated and or allowed such fraud to continue. It doesn't make any sense to direct your anger at the person who discovers people. Any one of us doing that would be in jail right now, and these people are walking free.
Well, I can't remember exactly how many it was, but it was an enormous amount of people over 120 years old that were still getting checks that were dead.
There was some that was 300
this year, 605 years old. Who sends a check to somebody who's going to be 605 years old this year and 606 later on this year? It's impossible.
It was mind blowing. Like, and it was, I mean, in the thousands, some of these people well over 300 years old. It was like,
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking, you know, and we don't know how much money each individual was getting. Was it 500, 1,000, 2,000,
It doesn't
3,000?
really matter. I mean, you want to account for it, yes, but they rattled off a list. It was like, there were 10
No, it
people.
matters. It matters about how much jail time you're going to get.
15 people over 120. I mean, there were numbers and numbers of people.
Whoever
Those
cashed the
are
check that's the act of
age.
fraud. Every one of those is act of fraud, so they're going to need to chase that down.
Now, what they might have did was like that poor guy got caught just the other day. Him and his girlfriend and him and his sisters were cashing the mom's check. She'd been dead about 25 years.
that happens a
And,
lot.
So, and they were just cashing the check. They were letting it go into her account. It was direct deposit, and then they were just taking the money out of the account and spending it. And there'd be a big argument. Yeah, mom was been dead. Yeah, been dead. And she was maxed out on benefits, so she's probably getting around for back when she got it. She's probably getting around $2,000 a month. Today it would be closer to $3,000, but.
And then that basically works out to what's that crime when it's embezzlement? Yes.
Fraud, straight up fraud, man. Straight up stealing.
That's intent to defraud the government. So yeah, it's.
You can throw identity theft in there too.
Cashing her grandmother's checks.
Do you like? Well, you got a crush on Jasmine Crockett? What?
Oh no, wasn't she the one that was cashing her grandmother's checks? Or her mother's checks?
Oh, I did hear something about that. I don't know if that was true or not, but I did hear something about that. I do remember hearing something about that, but it just kind of disappeared.
A lot of the times, it's these nursing homes that are getting the check, and then when the person dies, they don't report it, or they report it, but it gets lost in the chain. It's really the issuer of the check that should know when someone dies or not. You know what I mean? But
the way it's supposed to work is when you do the death record, when the not the pharmacist, but when the coroner does a death certificate, the city's supposed to send it to the state's supposed to send it to the Fed, and they're supposed to take you off the roll.
Yeah,
that's the way it's supposed to work. Obviously, it's not working that way.
Right. Yeah, you'd be surprised. And then the nursing home still gets that check, and they're so big, they probably don't know about the individual thing and going to, they're not doing their job either for seeing what's coming in. But you can see pretty easily how that could work.
But a lot of it's just individual fraud, just people keeping their parents or spouses or somebody's check.
They're used to that money. They don't want to get rid of the money.
Well, a lot of times it hurts people to get rid of the money. So
living that champagne budget with a beer income.
So it used to be when they first did Social Security, if your spouse died, you could keep their check. Now, whoever makes the most you get to keep that check. So you're going to lose one check no matter what.
Yep, other stuff comes into play, disability and whatever, and this, that, and the other thing. It depends on what's going on for the individual, But yeah,
but if it's just a death, that's what it is.
It's still not a lot of money. It's still hard to live off of. I mean, when rents out there are $1,500 for one bedroom apartment, if someone isn't set up already, that's a hard time to live. To pay that much. I mean, if they're getting $2,000 a month and they've got to pay $1,500 for rent, obviously they don't have.
Yeah, down here you can get apartments starting around $8,000 and up from there. Now you get in the city New Orleans, $1,800, $2,500.
In New York State, it's big bucks, man, which is nuts because you could buy a house and then pay the mortgage, even mortgage and taxes and everything on top of that. Still, if it's a decent price house, you're not going to pay as much as the rent. And rent, you get nothing out of, no equity.
Oh, who sent me this? The Gene Pisty girl.
Downstairs neighbor died.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. That's okay. The downstairs neighbor in the apartment beneath me. So it's an older house with a basement walkout apartment, and then I have the upstairs. And we had to do this. We had to do a wellness check for him, and it was 4 years ago. And he's still getting government mail, and he's still getting bank mail to the house that we have to send back, and it's been 4 years. Like it's same stuff happening in Canada.
Yeah, I still get mail from
I
my
don't know
dad
what
every once in a while.
They were quick with my son, I'll tell you.
Isn't
He
that
got a letter within a week
crazy?
because he was on a disability thing, and right away, yeah, basically no nothing, just basically, yeah, you're done. Basically, that's what the message said. Like there was no like I'm sorry or anything. It was just like, yeah, no future contact needed. And literally, like within a week after he passed, because he was on a disability pension,
Yeah.
obviously having autism, right? So. But I've heard that happening lots all over, that people pass and
Crazy.
other people cash the checks.
But yeah, if you got access to it, you can. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's how it is.
Mm.
But you got to be careful cashing checks these days, because if the Fed catches you, or if they don't catch you, but they catch a place where you've been cashing them, they'll go after them. And they'll say, "Well, you shouldn't have cashed the check. Pay us back. You should have known better."
Send it back, yeah.
Well, this is it.
Now the rule
To
with the
know
rule with
better.
U.S. postal
Everybody
law
knows
is
better.
this is one cool thing about U.S. postal law. If let's say a company accidentally mails out to you a product they sell, let's say it's $100 one of your favorite toys, whatever it is, and it shows up at your house, but you didn't order it. They accidentally just they missed a number, they got the street number wrong, they got the street name wrong, something that how it arrives to you. If they try to bill you for it, they can't. It's a mistake on their part. That product is yours for free.
You get to keep it, yeah.
Yeah. But however, if you order something from somewhere and then you take the item after it's delivered and claim it wasn't there, and you say, "Oh, I didn't get it," and they refund your money, and they find out, that's fraud, and you go to jail for that.
Yeah, well, now they make them take pictures, so
Yeah.
they pretty much ended that. Take a picture now. Anytime they deliver something, they take a picture. Any delivery I get from anywhere, whether it's food, because I'm lazy now, I don't go to a grocery store anymore. Now that I'm retired, I figured, fuck it, they can deliver it to my house. And since I'm old, I get a big senior discount on delivery, so it's like $3 a month. And so I'm like, yeah, deliver away, man. As many times I want to, they don't care. I can go,
Well,
get
we
one
found
item.
out on Amazon, if you order your
porch
groceries
pirates.
before 2:00, it'll be at your house by 6. That same
Yeah,
day.
yeah, sometimes you can. We got an Amazon hub not too far from here, but around here, if so, let's say I wasn't home and Amazon delivered something and somebody strange came up, my neighbor would probably shoot him in the ass with rock salt, or my neighbor across would probably shoot him in the ass. It's everybody around here kind of watch, even though none of us are really friends. We all still kind of watch out because we
A
all
lot
live
of ass shooting going on in the bayou.
rich people like to shoot you in the ass. Man, what can I say? It's these everybody. I'm the poor person in this neighborhood by far. It's somebody had the other day said, "Where do you live?" I live in Henderson Point. Where? Jesus Christ, how rich? I said, "I'm poor, man. I just got lucky and stole a house over there." I said, it should have cost me far more than I paid for it.
There was this old guy in our town. Actually, his name was Nimrod, and he was just this crazy dude. He owned a big. There was a lot next to his house that he owned, but everybody cut through the lot walking through. He ended up getting a shotgun with salt pellets, man, and he shot a few kids with salt pellets.
Wow.
The 70s was a different time.
Well, down here in a couple of states, if somebody's on your property and you have no trespassing signs, which I do, you are allowed to shoot them in the ass with salt rock, birdshot rock is what they call it, and you're allowed to shoot them with it. And you have to aim for the thighs or the legs, but you can shoot them with it, and they won't put you in jail for doing it.
Pellets?
They actually sell it where they sell ammo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, most places that. All it is they you get like a 12-gauge shell, and it has a
salt.
It looks like that
rock
kosher salt. Yeah, it's little tiny pieces of rock, man. It'll fuck you up. I got shot with it before myself, so I can't even say anything. I was crossing some guy's yard, me and my girlfriend and somebody else, and the guy took a shot at us, hit my left thigh, backside of my left thigh, with about 9 pieces. That shit stings. You got to go sit in hot water to get it out, and to let it melt. Oh man, it's nothing like salt melting in a wound, man. Jesus. Yeah. But you know what? Never thought about crossing his yard again, though. That was it for me. I was not going back through there again. I was like, nope. Yeah,
I would have thought that the same effect would occur if he just shot a blast in the air. That'd be enough to scare anyone off his property.
Not around here. That wouldn't scare you. He'd have to shoot their asses. But what were you saying, Jerry?
No, I was saying it with Supernatural. They used to make salt rock shotgun blasts all the time on
Yeah,
the show.
yeah.
Hey, if you have the
Well,
right equipment, you can fill those empty shotgun shells. You can buy them fresh, unfilled, and put whatever you want in them.
Yeah.
yeah, you can get them. You can get them just preloaded, and then you just load the whatever you want to put inside them.
There was, I don't know if you remember, there was a catalog. I think it was called the Blue Hawk catalog, and it went through like I guess because I worked in a rifle and pistol range, that's why I got it. But they sell specialty shotgun ammo. One of them it looks like the bomb Fat Boy from Nagasaki. It's just a giant rubber pellet that shoots out of the shotgun and hits someone in the chest, knock them down. They
Yeah,
have one that shoots 3 bean bags. They have one that shoots
them
a
rubber
3
bullets
polo
suck.
at you to trap your legs. They have
I
one
like
called the Wall
slugs,
of
man.
Fire, which is a magnesium chain that goes out, it stretches out like 3 foot wide and then lights the underbrush on fire. All kinds of really. They have one called flechettes. It shoots out like 20 or 30 inch long darts.
Well,
Like
glad to see
slugs.
the value of my house
Slug.
went up. That's nice. Fucking mean
12 gauge
attack
slug.
one. It's
It's like artillery, man. 12 gauge slug is like artillery. It's like
Yep.
hand artillery.
yeah. You got a 3-inch Magnum with a 3-inch slug, a 3-inch Magnum slug. As long as you've got a gun that can shoot a 3-inch Magnum, it'll do serious damage. That's what I used to deer hunt with. And then I got a 30-06, and that was it, baby.
It's powerful and accurate though for a shotgun. It's pretty.
Yeah,
damn
up to
accurate.
about 20, maybe 25 yards, maybe 30. It's not after that. It's going to kind of want to fade and twitch, and it's heavy. It's
Number
going to
one
start
home
losing
defense,
them.
12 gauge pump. You know what I mean?
Yeah, actually, they down here they use the riot guns. They're barely legal. They're like 1/8 inch. They're cut low. They hold 8 rounds, which is technically illegal down here, but they do. So they're riot guns is what they call them. It's the same one your boy got half his family killed over, and they drug him into FBI. So the FBI goes up there, shoots his dog, shoots his wife, shoots his baby, kills them all, drags him, arrests him, drags him into court, and guess what? When they measure the fucking gun, it's an 1/8 inch over legal limit. An 1/8 inch, it was legal. So they just that was the FBI did that. I can't even remember the name. It's been so long now, but it was somewhere before or after the Waco shooting. Um,
I remember that.
They just there was a lot of these FBI things, the fuck ups, and that was a big one. I mean, they went in the woods. I mean, come on, man! You shot the kid, the dog, the wife. I mean, what the fuck? They killed the baby. Why the wife was holding it?
Janet Reno, remember? She would have these stances on all this bull crap. And I don't know. These are her operations that she planned. Remember the baby that baby was abducted down in Florida, and then they went to go grab the baby back from the other parent, but by gunpoint. It was like a huge deal, man. It was a Cuban baby. So it was like from Cuba, and then the parent in Cuba wanted the baby back. They took I guess the mom took the baby and wasn't allowed to, that type of thing.
What was the case? It's going to bug me now if I remember that case. Philip, what are you talking about? No, I don't remember the name of it. I don't. It was a very famous case. It was all over the news forever.
The Branch Davidian was another one. You know that FBI had a house just down the road from the compound, right? And David Koresh would jog right past the house every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, like clockwork. They could have walked out, arrested him, and that would have been it. They didn't have to have the standoff.
Well, they could have arrested David several times. That's not what they wanted. They wanted to force an issue.
Yeah, they wanted the standoff. They wanted to show.
There were several times they could have took that out without all that trouble.
That's right.
They there's several. They're like, oh well, we're going to roll in tear gas. No, fuck that. Roll in knockout gas. Why don't you just roll in and knock them out? Yeah, we got those kind of weapons. The whole thing. Then they set the fucking place on fire. And they said, oh, no, they set it on fire. No, you watch a thing run into it and set it on fire. So
I saw that.
I watched that live. I remember
that was another one. So you got that in Waco, and then Ruby Ridge. That was what the other one was called.
Yeah, Ruby Ridge was on.
That's where he killed the kid, the dog, and the wife. Yeah. And he won. I mean, he won the case. He got money out of the case, but still, he lost.
Doesn't matter. The government reminds you all the time what they're capable of. That's what that is. It's a reminder.
Exactly what that is. But some people don't care. Some people will go down for it.
Well, a sociopath doesn't care. They laugh at something like that because they think it ain't going to be them. You know, they can do what they do.
Sometimes it's just what it is. It's not that the government just overstepped their bounds like they did with Ruby Ridge. There was nothing going on there. They just didn't like this guy because they thought he was selling guns that were the shotguns were too short. But instead of taking a fucking time and going to measure any of the ones he sold, they didn't. They went in and killed everybody. And then when they got to court, the judge had it measured, and guess what? They were legal. So all of that could have been ended way before any of that stopped if somebody would have just pulled out a tape measure.
Well, who was in charge of the FBI, Joe?
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I think it was in what 90s. Was it 90s?
I think it was Robert Mueller. I think
Google
that Robert
Ruby
Mueller
Ridge
was in charge for a long time.
Hey Google, when was Ruby Ridge?
The Ruby Ridge's start date is August 21st, 1992.
1992.
That's it. Wasn't that long ago? It was. There's a lot of people died there for no reason. Waco people died, and then we have what's his name, the crazy bastard. What was the guy's name who pulls up in front of the federal building, gets out of the U-Haul truck, walks away, and blows half the blows half the fucking front of the building off. I mean,
Timothy McVeigh.
And they're like, oh, he's going to regret it in jail. No, he was a fucking hero in jail. What are you talking about? And they just stuff like that. That he wouldn't have caught as much hell if there wasn't children in that building. And then everybody wanted to know why there was a nursery
when that happened.
That was horrifying.
Yeah, everybody was asking why was there a nursery in the FBI building? That shouldn't have been there. It should have been somewhere else. It's the FBI building. It's an FBI building. It might be dangerous there.
You think, especially the FBI and your most precious people in your life, your children, are I understand it's convenient, but still, that was terrible. I remember that. I think most of us do. That was terrible.
It was a horrible scene. I mean, he did his point. He was after federal agents. He did that, but then killing the babies, because I don't think it would have been as horrible for him if the babies wouldn't have been there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was a horrible thing, I just don't think people would have came down on Hardeman. And even then, a lot of people were like, fuck it. The FBI was sticking their nose where it don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what he was over, moonshine or something. Some of these things that the FBI caused problems over seem to be just stupid things.
Yeah, very minor. But it explodes. It turns into a mountain.
But the babies didn't deserve that, right? And they were innocent victims.
Of course they did.
But it made a statement, didn't it? The whole world heard it and saw it when it happened. Like they went live pretty quick after.
And then it showed crazy people that you can make a bomb that blows up half a building out of fertilizer.
Yeah.
I mean,
you can get that
nobody
fertilizer in almost any store. It sells, garden products.
Everything using it, you can buy over the counter. You don't even have to have a permit to get it.
I had a friend who went off grid with his house, right? Disconnected his power lines and all that. And then they came out and told him that it was illegal for him to do that. And then the county went after him. Then the state went after him. They arrested him, man. They came to his house and took him out in cuffs, and now he's battling this out that he can't be off grid, that you're not allowed to be off grid. So think about, we live at the end of the barrel of a gun, right? I mean,
well, in the South, you can be off. Okay, the way it actually works here is you can be off the grid as long as you supply your own power and water. You can't live below a certain standard that's considered below poverty standard. So they can enforce you that if you have to have a generator or some other way like a water wheel or something that's producing power and water. But down here, that wasn't a big deal because, in the South, a lot of that was going on. You can still ride down the bayou and see water wheels all up and down the bayous all over the place, windmills all over the place. So they can produce their own power.
There's places in Florida.
We can use water, wind, and sun. It's easy to produce electricity here.
There's places in Florida. There's BLM land too. I mean, but there's places in Florida you could buy in cheap and have your RV there and be off the grid. That type of thing.
Yeah, there's lots of places you can go in the South, but they will expect you to keep power and water. If not, it's considered not vagrant. I forgot what they call it, but they can take your shit if it's not hooked up.
You got the right RV and you know what you're doing. I think that's pretty easy to do.
Most of the decent RVs come with it.
Produce enough electricity. It's usually a little bit less than what the average household uses per day, but it can produced enough to run a normal household.
So, like where I'm living right now, I could put 3 water wheels and 2 windmills here, and I could be selling electricity to my neighbors. I mean, the bayou, just the tidal action, not even the river action, just the tidal action, is enough with 3 water wheels that it would make way more. We actually looked at, and then if I really wanted to, I got a whole acre. I just put solar panels on. So it's I could actually produce a nice amount of energy right here. But yeah, my electricity bill last month was $160. So I'm not going to bitch. It's now this summer it'll get up. It'll get up. Now I'm not using my main unit. Once the big AC truck kicks in, they'll jump up to 500. And I'll still have to run some of the smaller units. And when we get dead heat, because of my 12-foot ceilings, whoever built this house, rebuilt this house after the storm,
Yeah,
they'll have
question.
they put these big huge vents in, right? So the AC, lots of AC, but they put them 10 feet up in the air, 11 feet up in the air. Actually, yeah, 11 feet up in the air. So they have to pass through all the hot air before it even gets to the ground. It's
Kurt has a
stupid.
question.
Yeah, I think we
Does
clicked it
every-
at the same time, Sean. Go ahead, sorry.
What's that?
I think we clicked it at the same time. So I said,
Yeah,
saying, yeah, there is a way.
Does every country have a social security number? And is there a way possible to be born and a citizen without one? I feel that's how they always track you from day one.
Well, yeah, you can be without a social security number. You have to. So when you're born, until you apply for it, you don't have a social security number.
Yeah.
You're just some random person living in the country.
Yeah, I didn't even apply for my first one. My mother did when I was born, and then she gave it to me when I was, I don't know, 16 or 17 no, actually 13 when I started my first job.
But you're very limited to what you can do without one.
They're much more strict now, but really it's statewide. Some states are more relaxed, and they give people time. Place like New York, they want information right away. You know what I mean? So, but some people have alien numbers. Some people don't have a social. I mean, it depends on the person and the situation.
Yeah, depends
But
what you're doing.
Some people have the social security number of a dead Civil War soldier who weren't even born in that state.
You got your social for life, really. So unless something happened to you, you could change it. Well, that's a huge pain in the ass. I've helped people do it at identity theft, And,
they do identity theft, or if you're a witness or something, you can get it changed. But it's
identity theft is horrible, man. I've helped people try to get through it, and it is just once they're in, and you got to change your whole life around, really.
I had one of them guys in the dark web one time. He was threatening me to do this. I said, "Go ahead." I said, "I already got your shit. I just ran my hack tracer program, so I know who you are and where you are, motherfucker. So go ahead and do whatever you want." I said, "They're gonna be knocking on your door in about 15 minutes." I have never seen him back on the internet since. He just never come back. Jimmy Lee, there's a program called Hack Tracer. I got it a long time ago. It stays updated. I don't even know if it's available anymore, but it came out of the App Store. So it was originally used like if you were in a messenger, you could trace whoever you were talking to, where their location was, what their phone number was, stuff like that. That's what the program was designed for. It's to keep you safe from people who may have hacked a messenger or something like that. It works on any communication device hooked to your computer. It's a great little program. A good friend of mine who used to design programs, but he still does for the military, told me all about it. Yeah, it's good to know geeks from time to time, man.
There's all kinds of services you can get that watch your.
Oh yeah, there's
credit, but then you got somebody watching you spending your credit. It's just a lot of privacy goes out the window, unfortunately.
It's pretty much out the window now. I mean, somebody asked me the other day, "How do you do your stuff?" Well, I do a lot of my stuff online. I do a lot of my banking online. I do a lot of bills paying online. It's way more convenient. It's way easier. It's way faster. It's generally instantaneous. If I go to the bank and pay the bank, like if I'm paying a car note at the bank, which is paid off now, but if I was paying one there, it would take us 3 or 4 days to get to Chase, to get to go to people. And then if I do it online, it's about 8 minutes, and it's there. You see it clearly comes out of your account. There's it's no playtime. Jimmy, anybody can get on the dark web. I would advise you, unless you really know something about computers, I would advise you not to get on the dark web. Because more than likely somebody's going to take over your computer and want to give you, they're going to ransom your computer. You have to pay them to get your computer back. Oh, yes, they will put a program on your computer and it will never work again until you pay the ransom. Most people don't have the skills to get it off. I do, but most people don't have the skills to get it off their computer. Very first time it happened to me, I was like, what the fuck is this? But then I said, you know what? I said, the hell with this. I went in my DOS and wrote it out. I just wrote over it, wrote a new program right over the top of it. I said, the hell with you. You're not getting in my computer. Jimmy, I've been doing computers since, God, I hate to even admit this. Almost 50 years. So I started out. There wasn't even Windows when I started working on computers. It was just DOS.
Yeah.
And then somebody invented this program called Windows.
Yes.
It was revolutionary, is what it was. But it was a piece of shit. It was a piece of shit. But it was Microsoft, but it was a piece of shit.
Microsoft came up with the Windows program after the Apple IIe platforms, which had a lot openable and collapsible windows.
Well, no, but you're thinking about the Universion of what Apple did. Microsoft did Windows 3.0, which was actually a full version of an operating system, is what it was.
Yeah,
it was junk. I mean, compared to what we use today, it was absolute junk. It could not do anything that we do. What we're doing in this computer right now, would have had a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
It exploded and died and fell into pieces. And then there was Apple. Apple had that. I can't remember the name of it. I always call it Apple One, but that was a beast of a program. And then somehow or another, what was the other one? The one the colleges used. Oh shit! Now, there's actually two versions of it too. There's one that will work on a Mac computer, and there's one that'll work on Windows computer.
There was AOL that opened the door to those chat rooms and all that. Remember that? Yahoo too in the early days. But I mean, we used the dial-up. A lot of kids, a lot of people would have no concept of what dial-up was.
You had to actually physically take your phone and plug it into a special device to get in. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank God they started putting
it. It was just a modem. It was just different kind of modem. That's all.
Yeah.
ICQ. Do you guys remember that one too?
Yeah.
Yes, ICQ chat. Yes.
It was a good one.
Napster.
ICQ was a big chat group.
Yeah, Napster, LimeWire, all that.
AOL and ICQ got left behind because of things like Pal Talk. They came up with video chat. They came up with room controls, so you could control your room, control who came in, control who was talking.
MySpace was a big one.
I had one. I can't even open it. It's still there, but I don't even remember the password.
And there's still a few of them out there. I mean, AOL's still around. I don't know anybody personally who uses it, but I mean, it's still around.
I remember.
Meta owns most of the stuff now, right? I mean,
yeah, it's weird. Until just about 4 or 5 years ago, all computers came with a built-in 5K modem, V96 modem built in.
And whatever happened to G's? Anybody remember him?
G's is still out there.
That's G's. Yeah. What happened to that guy?
I was on MySpace and I had a friend here in Canada and he messaged me. He goes, I'm not going to be on here anymore. There's this new platform that came out. And I go, what? And he goes, it's Facebook. So he sent me a link. And you even look at Facebook back in the day, it was just one little page that would come up like a newsletter almost in the beginning compared to what it is now.
Yeah, I still have a MySpace account. It's got about 70,000 people on it.
Do. Well, not that many people. I don't have. And I always say it wrong. Before Gmail, wasn't it? It's either GeoCities or Geocities, depending on how you say it, right? You guys remember that with Jeeves too, with AOL? Like there was all that stuff.
I don't know. I didn't know all that. That's good to know. But I was wondering, you said that Jeeves and Google. I mean, they kind of start with a G sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if I know what the password is for this anymore.
I can't remember mine either, Joe. I had it all pimped out and all this stuff. I used to think it was so cool. Now, if anybody looked at it,
I don't even know if it was on the iCar email. It might have been on a different email.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, man. I used it though until about 5 years ago. We were still using it for something. It turned into a music is what it really did. It turned into a music site.
Oh, Kurt just said, what happened to MySpace Tom? Actually, I heard an update about him not too long ago. I wasn't looking for it. He's still around. But I remember my
I want to know where my boy from
first friend
TMX
always on
is.
MySpace.
I want to know where the TMX guy is, the guy who made all them movies and put them online. Somehow that some bitch got into every premiere that ever was and recorded it. He looked like he was recording it out of the booth. He got everything, man. I mean, anything you wanted was up there. It was on what was that sharing program called? Oh, what was it called? Come on, guys. I know y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a big ass sharing program. Peer to peer is what it was. I can't remember.
The sharing program?
Napster?
Yeah, Napster. That was it.
Well, yeah, Napster. It
One,
was like share music, but nothing else.
Shared everything. Anything you wanted was on there.
It was mostly music and audio files. I don't think they had video.
There was a couple that had
No,
video.
there was TMX. No, TMX had a whole video. Everything you could think of, he had up there.
Yeah, movies.
He used to go to the movies. Somehow he got into the producer's booth and he recorded the movies. The audio wasn't the best, but you got the full movie, every time. And I literally probably had 500-600 movies from him.
Wow.
Not anymore. They're all gone now. Adios amigos. Just like all them VHSs I used to have. I had over 1,000 VHS. They're all gone too. I probably should have kept them for prosperity, but adios effing amigos is where they went.
I got rid of most of my VHS and beta tapes, but I do have select VHS tapes I kept, and then I have about 900, maybe a little over 900 titles on DVD. So I'm almost my own Blockbuster.
And I've got a couple of vinyls still left, but they're select collector's items. So
you can start buying vinyl though. If you go to Walmart, they sell record players and vinyl records now.
Yeah, you can get it. I got the original Miss You album. The one with everybody's faces on. I got the Zeppelin album. These are all collector's items where you can turn the thing and have the faces in the windows. They're worth a good chunk of money these days. But for some reason I decided to keep them and threw them in a box and left them there. Once I got rid of the record player, I threw them in a box. I remember because my car had a 8-track in it, man.
I remember those.
Fancy, man. It was
fun.
Yeah, you'd be in the middle of the song, Jay had to take it out, and flip it over. I'm like, what the hell is this about? Yeah, I remember those. And then,
and the only way to rewind it, if you wanted to hear a song and you missed something, you had to pull it out and reverse it, and wait. You had to guess, and then flip it up, take it out, flip it back, and see if you got to the part you wanted to hear again.
and then somebody invented cassettes. I was like, "Ooh, look at these! All right, these are cool." Even though I can't tell you how many cassettes I destroyed.
Don't forget about those.
Oh yeah, well I got a microset recorder somewhere I use when I'm out in the field.
Or floppy disks. Remember those?
Floppies. Oh, I got an old computer.
5.5. I remember both.
Yeah, I got an old computer here. It's got a barefoot drive in it. It's a half a gig of hard drive. It's got a 5-inch floppy in it. It's got an original Windows operating system on it. It's probably worth about $4,000. I'm gonna put it up on auction and actually find out what it's worth because it's taking up too much space. I sold a Commodore not long ago for $2,000. Commodore, I think we paid like $45 for. It's and evidently you catch these things at auctions at certain gaming systems and even certain games are still sought after. So if you can get an original, people like to have originals.
Mm-hmm.
Like to have
Look at
originals.
how much technology has changed, though, like with us in this age group, from what we had as little kids to where we are now. It's really
Yes, because we got Mike's in New York.
Skateboarding,
So we got 2 Canadians, 2 Pittsburghians, and then Mike and I'm in New Orleans and Mike's in New York. And it's seamless and flawless. There's no problems. It's not giving us any trouble. It's not being stupid. It's letting us talk without any real problems. I seen Carrie Lynn was back there dance a few minutes ago. I was like, well, look at this girl. It's yes, I seen you. I seen you, girl. Don't even put the laser on.
I don't have any kids on the roof. I don't have any kids on the roof trying to figure out the antennas to anything.
Oh yeah, remember the bunny ears?
Yes, I do.
And
Oh my
Saturday
God.
morning
Tinfoil with aluminum foil on
See,
them.
Oh yeah.
funny is what it works.
and when we were small, we used to beat a remote.
Yes, yes.
That's true. I remember the
Saturday
first remote we got was it had 3 buttons on it. The very first remote we had, it had an on-off button and a forward and backward. Yeah, I think the TV only had like 9 channels or 12 channels or something. But I remember watching TV with my grandma. There was 1 channel, then there was 3 channels. Oh, and then all of a sudden there was independent channels and PBS. I'm like, oh, where did this shit come from?
or
independent.
Saturday morning cartoons. And then I know here in
Well, they still
Canada,
got Saturday morning channels. They still got it in America. You can still watch them.
now they're on all the time for kids, right? You can watch whenever you
right.
want, watch whatever you want.
A lot of weirdness is still around. You can still find a drive-in. I mean, if you want to go to a drive-in movie, you can still find one. And I think there's 2 in Mississippi.
Oh, they just put ours up for sale.
We don't
Yes,
have
we used
one.
to pack in a trunk. We used to pack everybody in a trunk
What
and
I like,
go.
what I like about our drive-ins is you go there and remember the boxes on the side.
Yes.
Okay, use your car radio now.
No, yeah, now they're all do the FM thing. Yeah, it's same thing you could do if back in the day if you bought a car with an AM, there's a little thing you could buy that you could use, make it turn it into FM. But the car window thing works good. I mean, I was fine with that, unless it was a mosquito night. And then when they went to the FM radio, that's fine. Just roll up your windows and well, depends what you went to the movie for, doesn't it? Did you go to eat popcorn? Did you go to watch the movie, or did you go to talk to your other half?
I never went when I was in dating age, just as a little kid, and then it was closed. Heidi's talking about splice and wires. No, I never did that.
It was me and my kids.
Yeah, it's fun. I think I thought it was fun.
Who here owes
I enjoyed
Columbia
it.
House? Who here owes Columbia House?
Columbia House, yeah.
I know it was Columbia House money, man. Them bastards. They were evil.
12
That was
CDs
evil.
for a penny. You can't go wrong with.
Get all kind of good CDs. Glenn, no, we're getting ready to get out of here because Mike's getting ready to come on in a few minutes. Y'all got any more questions? Y'all can pop them in. Actually, I was baking a cake while I was on air tonight. Yes, chocolate cake with vanilla icing. Yes,
Oh, that
I
sounds
like
so
to cook.
good.
Homemade buttercream icing at that.
Oh, that
I made the best dessert you could even imagine when I was cooking for the kids. I wanted to do something that had an anniversary. I wanted to do something real special, and I was into cooking at that time, So I had watched this guy make a chocolate bag. He had taken a wax bag, and like painted the inside with chocolate and put cool stuff in there. So I did that. I got a wax bag, painted the inside with melted chocolate, and then I put a dark chocolate mousse, an almond mousse, and then a milk chocolate mousse inside. Between the layers of mousse, I did fresh raspberries with a raspberry drizzle, and then on top, raspberries on top with whipped cream, man. That was like, wow. That was wow. And everybody was like, oh my God. So it's nice to do that once in a while. You know what I mean?
Sounds yummy.
A lot of work.
Now I eat cold SpaghettiOs out of the can. So that's how things change.
I like to cook. I got to watch now that I'm mostly retired. I can't be cooking all the time because I'll be 600 fucking pounds. But I really like to cook. I mean, I have friends and family who will bring food over for me to cook. They're like, oh, and they love to cook. Big Joe. As soon as they say Big Joe, I know there's some shit up. They either want money or want me to do something. But as soon as I hear Big Joe, I know there's some shit up.
When you're alone,
They're
like
Little Joe. That's why. So you know they mean you.
Yeah, I know what they mean.
When you're alone, it's different. You cook. You know what? It's like cooking for yourself.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if I was alone. I'd still cook fancy dishes. I enjoy cooking. It's just one. Of those
I like
things
it, but I just feel
relaxing.
It's I got a thing I learned from my mom, and I clean as I go. I cook and clean as I go. I just got to watch myself. If I'm cooking by myself, I'll let my food get cold while I'm cleaning. But I just prefer to do it that way. It's easier.
I do too.
Joe in his apron dancing around the kitchen. One of his aprons that says "Kiss the Chef."
It's funny you said that. I will throw on YouTube. Sometimes I'll throw on YouTube and listen to music, and sometimes I'll throw on listen to music and listen to you people's.
Uh-oh.
Matter of fact, I was just listening to it just the other night. I popped it on.
Mike
I was
Mission
listening.
Columbia House. I just looked it up. It looks like they're still active. Their website looks kind of wonky, but they only do DVDs now. But I remember at one point they did cassettes. At one point they did CDs and records, vinyl, and then they did books. And then now they're doing just DVDs. They don't even do Blu-rays, but you can get 2 of them for $9.95. But they don't
Then
have
I
any
was
titles any
watching
once a
Stone
month.
the other night too. I can only watch Jay when he's with me. So, well, I guess I can watch him. Oh, I know. Matter of fact, I was watching Jay early in the night on the Church of Hell.
The Church
Church
of
of
Mavis.
Mavis.
Same difference. Church of Hell, Church of Mavis. It's what about President Trump? Look, his poll numbers are good. I'm not going to hate on the guy. Hopefully, he looks like he's turning around the country. More and more Democrats are turning on his side. Even Stevens Jeffrey came out and said, look, you got to give the guy credit. He's doing what he said he's going to do. So we're just going to see where it goes. And as far as the Canadians, they're becoming communists. I don't know what to do with them.
Yes,
We might not even be able to, y'all know in less than a year, we might not even be able to talk to Laura Lee and Carrie Lynn.
somebody just sent me a video on that tonight, and I was thinking if it comes up next Friday, I'll bring it up because everything this girl said, she wasn't wrong. And she said she has an American phone and a Canadian phone, and she said she cannot believe the difference in the news versus what we're able to get here as Canadians versus what people outside.
I was pleasantly surprised. I watched the CBC out there. What is that? Canadian Broadcast Company? Is that what they call them?
Yeah, the government owns all of
And they're
that.
usually they're fucking liberal beyond control, but lately they have not been. They've actually been taking Carney to task, which is surprising because usually they're all but kissing somebody's ass. And they're usually always hating on Trump, but they've even got off Trump lately because it's what happened for all these other countries that were hating on us when the new numbers came in the other day and our deficit crashed down, 8% or 10%. He's knocked $10 trillion off our debt. And it looks like by the time he's out of office, he might clean it up.
We're last in the G7. It just came through, yet you don't find that out in Canada. This girl, it was a pretty good video. It was almost 5 minutes long, and she backed it up with facts. And like I said, it was interesting. She has an American phone, probably with a SIM card or whatever to access it, versus the Canadian phone. And she said,
so it's funny. When I'm watching Canadian news, I do hear a lot about it in the American stuff and some stuff that's not readily available here. But when I'm listening to American news, I'm hearing a lot of Canadians. So see, the way my TV's set up because of the news shows is there's 10, let me see, there's ABC, NBC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox, and One American News, Max News, CBC, Euro News, Sky News, and somebody else. There's about 11 or 12 of them I have on there. So when I'm getting ready, like tonight, I'll just turn them on and flip through them as I'm getting ready for the show or something, just to see if there's something I want to talk about, or if there's something that maybe we need to talk about. Like last night, all this arming up, should make people start paying attention to what's really going on in the world. When you start seeing Russia and China developing weapons that can take out American carriers, it's time to take notice. And then, and then of course, China really wants Taiwan. With Trump, there's no way they're going to get it. That would truly start a nuclear war. We're not going to let them. We can't let them have the chip industry. Is what the problem is. That's why Chinese want. They don't give a shit about the island. They want that chip technology we have there. And we'd have to.
It'll bring their fighter technology to levels that we now control.
Yeah. So more than likely, I know. I've seen this a while back. So 2 of the main buildings have nukes in their basements. So they're actually supposed to detonate them if the Chinese try to get into those buildings. Just poof. No more industry. And if they don't detonate them, we will. We're supposed to actually have a chip. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but it's going to be one of those things. It's
okay, hang on.
Well, we don't have to worry about it. They're gonna blow up Pittsburgh anyway. Pennsylvania, whole effing state's gonna be going. New York's gonna be
about Loretta Swift.
Going.
Loretta Swift passed away.
I know. I was sad to see that, man. I was sad to see that. I kind of like the old country girl.
Hot Lips Houlihan.
Yeah, I know. She was Hot Lips Houlihan on MASH. What was her theme song? Suicide Was Painless. That's what it was. We'll have to play that on the show one night. It's who was playing rock and roll tonight? Oh, they were. the KL&L was. Yes, it's KL&L. Yes, Carrie Lynn and Laura Lee. Yeah, KL&L. Oh yeah, everybody gets a nickname. Yeah, now I'm just teaming them up together. One
That just
one
sounds
person.
lazy.
Yeah, you know.
You got to come up with a name. You come up with
Well, I'm coming up with a name with Carrie Lynn. Just come. It's gonna take a little while. I got to get used to her personality first. It's
Yeah. Or you get to, I picked, well, you did name me this. Actually, you did, Joe. That's why I put it up. Princess, Conspiracy Princess. You did.
be shit about being a conspiracy princess. Let me tell you what. Marty, what? Who? No, Mike and I was talking about that last night about Como running. He is leading. Will he end up in jail ahead of time? I don't know. I mean, it's
He's
like
got
2
a lot
years.
of power, dude. He got a lot of power. He was governor before he was governor. He was
So this is what's going to matter.
For the state.
So this is what's going to matter. If Trump throws in with Eric Adams, Como's dead. It's over with. Nothing he can do. He'll probably end up in jail. If Trump stays out of it, I don't know if they'll prosecute Como.
Cuomo and Trump are old friends, man. There's a weird thing there.
I couldn't believe
That's what I'm saying. So,
Todd Chrisley. Did you see that? He pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley, those reality.
oh, really? No, I didn't see.
You notice
I know.
that he doesn't go after Trump. He doesn't talk crap. He doesn't say anything about Trump, does he? The only thing he defended him about Trump being, all that stuff with Letitia Jones and all that. But and he said that wouldn't happen to a normal person. So.
No, it wouldn't have. What went on with Trump? I mean, even the judge said this wouldn't this wouldn't have been a case. Nobody would have took this case.
Yeah.
And the appellate court's just been waiting for Trump to send it to him. But you know what? He can't. This tells you how fucked up the liberals actually are. So this could all be over with. And off of Trump's, it could be off of Trump. He would be found innocent and removed. But since they can't, since they didn't sentence him, it can't go to another court until he's been sentenced. And this judge refuses to sentence him. So as long as he refuses
to do that to a sitting president, I mean,
I don't. He wasn't sitting president when he got prosecuted.
Yeah, so but he is now though.
Well, he can't put him in jail or nothing because it's a federal thing, and that's another thing. This is where they really fucked up. So if they could have got it, because this was all civil in the beginning. If they could have got it like that, they might have got Trump in jail because it would have been state. But no, it's federal now. You can't put a sit in federal prison now. It don't work like that. So
he could pardon himself, couldn't he?
Yeah, he could actually.
Pardon me. Do you have any grateful pardon?
And
do you have a pardon?
But so I was reading more about this thing. Boy, they're putting pressure on him trying to get him to pardon Diddy. I'm like, he didn't even found guilty yet. Wait till they find him guilty, then you have to worry about pardon. I don't think Trump's going to do it though. He doesn't look like he. I guess you know what? It depends on what Diddy gets found guilty for.
Well, all the people who went after him are criminals, and then now they're all being brought out as criminals because they got criminal behavior. All you got to do is look in their backyard, and you find out what's going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the whole bunch of them are corrupt and guilty. I mean, they all are. What's that? Gene, I want to see that myself. I want to see the Tootsie Roll.
I don't.
No, because what's your name said? She did this. She said she put up her thumb and she said it's about a Tootsie Roll about this size. Poor Diddy, man. Come on.
There's that insecurity right there, man. See that?
Yeah,
he didn't make a good deal with his demon, apparently.
What I want to know is why he pardoned Todd and Julie Chrisley. They stole over $30 million, and were convicted, and he pardoned them. Like, why would you?
Because he probably made some deal to get money out of him.
Mm-hmm.
He pardoned somebody the other day that stole, I think it was $40 million. And he told him because he said, look, I'm going to pardon you, but the money was in a Swedish account. And he told them, you're going to have to give at least half back. And they did. They paid half of it back. It was $26 million. So, I mean, hell, it's worth being free. Who wants to be $50 million in an account that you're locked up in jail you can't fucking use? So, yeah, I think it's worth giving up to half. We'll see what he does. I mean, you never know with Trump. He's always got some angle when he's doing something. He doesn't look at anything straightforward. You just, he wants to see what the angle is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so
All right,
This
I
is what I
gotta
think.
get going, man. It's like
Get out of here, man. Get some sleep, baby.
I gotta go.
Bye,
Mike,
Sean.
have a
Be
good one.
Be
Everybody.
good, baby.
Sean, have a
Night,
good
Thanks.
show
Watch out
tomorrow.
for human beings. They're dangerous.
Have a good show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's
Yep.
Watch
Thanks
out.
for
happy
hanging out.
Sunday.
Good
What's that?
night.
Watch out.
It's
Look
I
out.
don't know. It's all that shit's strange. We'll just have to let it all play out and see what all ends up landing and who ends up in jail and who doesn't. I know that appellate judge said that all these women that were involved, they need to look at if they knew this was going on and they were letting it go on, they're just as guilty as he is. So we'll see where that goes. And then again, if he walks, nobody will probably go to jail.
Witness number 3 is not testifying in Diddy's trial, and she was supposed to. Gina, her name is, and she already
Yeah.
spilled the beans a couple of years ago on Tasha K's podcast. So, yeah, I think he must have got to her later on.
He might, yeah. Well, he's got access to a computer and all now. He's got access to his lawyer, so
His boys are out there; they can do it, and they have been.
yeah, but he's got.
He walks. Almost all of his friends who've been implicated, they're going to sue the crap out of him. He's going to be broke.
It's going to be anyway. Diddy goes, he's in for a shit lot. He'll probably end up in jail for a few years, and then he'll probably end up with no money. But between the fines that the feds are going to levy on him and the people who are going to sue him,
How much does he have? He has a lot, right? I mean, he's not.
I don't know. I asked Jay. Somebody it varies every time I ask somebody. Comes with a
His
different
legal
phone.
defense is costing a fortune, though.
Answered that specific question, but according to USAtoday.com, Diddy's net worth. In 2024, Forbes magazine estimated Combs' net worth at $400 million, a significant
Okay.
drop from the 2019 figure of $740 million.
Yeah, he's losing money.
He's
But he lost all his business.
Yeah, but that's the money that's known. I'm sure he's got money tucked away. I mean, you know what I mean. Overseas, offshore, Bitcoin.
Yeah, but if he loses $400 million, it might be pretty bad for him. And if he starts spending money when he loses it, they're gonna want to know where it's coming from. So
Apparently he's already lost $300 million. So,
But that's got to be court. You know what? Court and appeals, and you know how long it takes to get an appeal.
it takes forever.
Sometimes it depends on the state, it depends on the court, But man, I mean, you could drag it out forever, really, essentially, until you die. I mean, he's not young either, right?
No,
I
he's
didn't
not.
watch. Yeah, exactly. Because they got R. Kelly, and they never thought that he.
But R. Kelly was with young girls, 12, 13, bragging about it. He was on video talking about it. With the P. Diddy, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that evidence yet. That's
That hasn't come yet. Now, two of them said they were giving him drugs. That could bite him in the ass. But even that's not.
What he did.
But you need evidence. It can't just be hearsay by people who are suing you. It's got to be real evidence, man. So
Well, Kid Cudi though with his car with the arson, and then there's a lot of his assistants.
that prosecutor let those people go on and on saying that
No.
he puts applesauce on cheeseburgers and all these things. It's
Yeah,
stupid stuff. I mean, like that's not even proper for a trial like this. And if that's all you got, and you're letting them go.
Oh no! Let's not forget they got racketeering, and they got 5 pounds of cocaine. That's plenty enough to put you away for 20 years.
That's
25 years actually.
Cross
I don't know.
And since he had all the stuff in the little baggies, they got him for intent. So they get him for the actual holding of it and intent to distribute.
I told you about Buju Banton. They found those guys with a couple kilos in Florida at the beginning of their tour. And they alleged that they were going to sell it on the road. No, the cocaine was for the band. That was so they don't have to go looking for coke in every city that they're in. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a store you can go to.
That's even worse, man. You're taking it across state lines. That's
but you know what? Nobody went to jail. They ended up doing some PSAs and whatever. And you remember Bon Jovi, man, and their tour manager, Doc McGee, right? Doc McGee was caught smuggling 40 tons of marijuana into the U.S. from Jamaica on a barge. Remember that? And then nobody went to jail. He didn't go to jail. Bon Jovi did some PSAs for drugs, and that was it. So they buy their way out. We wouldn't be able to buy our way out unless we had the money to buy our way out, right? I would just go to another country. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I wouldn't be sitting around waiting for people to come get me. It'd be like Michael Angley's charged. The second I hear the word charged, I'm gone. I'm already over that line. Where'd Michael Angley go? Oh, I'm in Australia, fuckers. Oh.
You gotta go to some country.
Some games. I'm going to the Philippines. Man, I got people in Thailand.
All them countries will arrest you for the government. You got to go somewhere where
No. If you go to a country where the law is, it works like this. If you broke the law here, let's say you murdered somebody. Murder is also illegal in most countries, so then you really can't get refuge in a lot of places unless it's a country like Iran or something like that, which they could care less. If you like it's a financial law or if it's a sex crime or something, you can go to other countries that tolerate that, and then they will not arrest you, and they will not let someone come in and arrest you either.
I would bet you if you're high profile and Trump calls your president and says, I want this motherfucker arrested, he'd be in handcuffs and on a plane in less than 2 hours.
But if you know the system, you could disappear. I mean, I have friends who bike across all kinds of these countries, man. They can just disappear.
But there are countries without extradition. You don't even have to do that. There's several countries without extradition.
If they want you that bad.
And
it costs to go after somebody? I mean, really? In dollars and cents, man.
Sometimes you remember, sometimes it's not about the money, it's about the principle. Especially if you get one of them DAs who's just got a hard on. They'll just go after you just to go until somebody cuts their funds off. They'll keep going after you. You just get people like this. Like
I was arrested from my show in Ithaca, New York. The DA said he found me to be personally lewd, crude, obnoxious, and obscene. That's
none of those things are illegal.
That's what you said. You should have looked up and said, "Well, I'm going to
obscenity to third degree." I won the case, but he did it.
Cable, man. Yeah, they'll arrest you.
He did it. No, you know what? People were against him doing it, but and then that guy. Now there was a lot of crap involved. He's dead now anyway. There was a lot of crap involved with that dude. But
I gotta get me a long earplug. Anybody listening tonight, you want to buy me a new Yeti?
People abuse their power for their own personal views. When he said, I find him to be personally lewd, crude, obnoxious, and obscene, that's not under the eyes of the law. That's under the person.
Oh, yeah, he blew it when he said that. He already blew
their personality. That's like letting your religion come into play when it comes to law. That's like letting your own values, whatever you think your values are. I was condemning violence on the show. The guy didn't like what the hell I had to say.
So I hear you New Yorkers like Sharia law anyway, so.
Sharia?
Yeah, Sharia law.
I once knew a girl named Sharia.
Well, there's 2 cities up there they've been fighting about because the Muslims took over, and
they're trying to build a Chinese city just north of Westchester. They've got the land, the whole bit. They want skyscrapers, Chinese people only, and it's a big deal. But then you get lawmakers.
That's illegal, so they can do that. They can try that all they want. That ain't gonna happen.
No, they're building it. They're doing it.
Oh, they can build it all they want, but you can't keep everybody out. That won't work.
They can do whatever they want to do if they own it.
No, that's discrimination.
You can't.
No such thing as a private city.
Not open. Yeah. They're doing the same thing in Australia. They bought an island and then like a vacation island, and they said they keep it open for Australians. That.
You heard about that, right? Australia said that they're taking back anything they sold to the Chinese is they're
that's what you got to do. You can't let them in. They're like cockroaches, man.
Yeah, that's what they already said they're doing it. They're like, no, that's enough of this bullshit. You're not going to come park on all of our islands. No, we're not going to buy that shit. And the U.S. now ordered a bunch of them out, so they're going to buy.
They buy politicians, man. They buy them for cold hard cash. They buy them. Especially Democrats. I'm going to say there's a lot of crooked Democrats out there. I know there are Republicans too, but there are more crooked Democrats.
Yeah,
they'll take.
And right now, for all the people who are buying their way through, are in trouble now because Democrats no longer have power. And it looks even worse. Going through the polls and some of the other stuff, in the sheer amount of people who have left the Democrat Party and going to the Republican Party, and then you've got this new big movement with young blacks and young whites and young Hispanics joining the Republican Party in vast numbers. It looks like 2026 is just doomsday for them. And if that's doomsday, 2028 is over with. It would be nice to see the country secure for 16 years because then they need at least 12 years to get all this stuff they want to get done. And then our country is really, truly saved. The debt's paid off. We got a lot more money to spend. It's way cheaper on Americans when the debt's paid off because everything goes down. We'll have prices so cheap everybody on the planet will want them. As it is, people are trying to move here now because we're the cheapest place to live on the planet. And we bitch as Americans about how high priced it is here, but everybody else wants to come here because it's so much cheaper, especially when it comes to taxes. When I hear what my Australian and Canadian friends paying taxes, I just like, you got to be fucking kidding me, right? I mean, that's insane. Even though we
Hey,
pay
folks, I'm
more
going
than
to bed.
Night.
get out of here,
I'm
you go
leaving.
to
I'm
bed.
tapping out.
I'll touch
Go
base
get
with you
some sleep,
tomorrow.
In
Night.
about 5
Yeah.
minutes, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat something. I don't know what it is. Something cake. That's what I was going to eat.
Good night.
Chantilly cake.
Yay. Have a good night's sleep.
Capital Cake, man. That doesn't work. I was looking for a name. Anyway, Glenda and all you bad witches out there, we're getting ready to get out of here. So, yeah, no, I love when y'all do the witch room. It's funny as hell. No, we got Power Talk still. You know what? I may start incorporating it on this show just to have it around because there's a lot of people that always want to send us questions. Yeah, I can put it on the side of here, but we got to go. It's past my bedtime. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin or some shit or something worse than that. So I got to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio, UFO Paranormal Radio, and of course, the chat. Any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, please write to Michelle DeRoche, courtesy of Laura Lee. On that note, good night, and I will see y'all Wednesday.
Good night.
Michael, see
Bye,
you in a few minutes.
everyone.
So you guys